Seek the truth. Interest free for some, not for you. Both and are gone, holiday, they do. Repackage of debt, derivative change. 98% lost to financial gain. Look it up yourself, don't take my word. Networks of finance loan transfers. Usury prohibited within their home. While your mortgage bleeds you to the bone. Be a currency, wait up there, central bank. The system said, prison, yeah, quarter cent, power jolly, can't forget. Financial collapse, here's the proof. Second order derivatives climb while the dollar dies over time. These are facts.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have Project Constitution join us in just a few moments. He's having some camera issues, and I think he needs to do an update. That is the privilege of having a technology guy part of the squad, be able to help you out. So we are trying to get him up and running. In the meantime, I'm going to do a couple of things here. We're going to talk quickly about some housekeeping stuff. If you're watching on Project Constitution's channel, backup, go to his main new channel, Project Constitution without an N. You just type in youtube.com/@ Project Constitution, no N, Project Constitucio, his Espanol style spelling. You'll be able to get a hold of the live stream there because he will be cutting it off once he gets in here. If you are watching on X and YouTube, make sure you're following both Project Constitution and I, and at Dankster Intel, both on YouTube and X. We've got a really exciting show for you today. A lot of things have come out since our last live stream discussing this, I guess you could say, intelligence, AI, drone system that we've been uncovering and looking into. Little conspiracy driven, but we have a lot of facts, right? So what we're trying to do here is really bring forward all of the information and basically make the case, right? And, you know, one thing I'll say is all conspiracies start, all things start with a conspiracy. You have to plan, you have to come with an idea, and you have to really figure out what's going on and then propose the answer, right? So I'm going to read a little bit, or tell you, I guess, a little bit about what, if you missed the last live stream, first of all, the first one that we've done. So part one of the TPUSA playbook, I'm going to discuss what that's all about, what it is, what we've kind of gone over, and what it means for us and for all of Americans, essentially. And if you're here on YouTube, thank you for joining. If you're on X, thank you for joining. And I look forward to going through this with everybody. It's been an extraordinary week. We've seen a lot of changing opinions, at least questioning Charlie Kirk's motives. We're not going to really be doing that, although that conversation is being had behind the scenes and with other YouTubers and podcasters and investigative journalists. I think it's important that we're not blinded by what we want things to be, but instead being real about what things really are. So that being said, again, if you're just tuning in, Project Constitution will be on momentarily. He's doing an internet update. A software update on his computer. So we are literally waiting for him. We're doing portrait mode for shorts and regular mode for the rest of you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a recap of part 1 so you can get caught up to date, at least speed through and tell you what happened. And if you want after this, I'd encourage you. It's a 4-hour live stream that we did last time. I don't think we'll be going that long today, but we're open to whatever. So I highly encourage you to check out part 1 after this, but we're going to catch you up to speed here right now. So I'm Danks from the Dankster Intelligence Apparatus, and I'm going to go and walk you through what me and Project Constitution had talked about for 4 hours last week. It was last week. So essentially, we received a tip from a viewer who had been mapping a lot of things out and basically came forward with an idea. And we really started to pry into the concept of what this idea is. And what this person put out was pretty gut-wrenching, and what's interesting is that it was all the dots connected with additional dots that we haven't seen before. And here's what it really laid out. So it lays out that Turning Point USA, in our opinion, and through this investigation, was never built to actually win elections. And it should never have been anyways. We believe that it was engineered as a decade-plus long human behavioral mapping project. Every high schooler who joined a Turning Point chapter, every school student who scanned a QR code, any civilian, really, any person who scanned a QR code, downloaded a Superfeed app, Turning Point app, attended an event. They weren't joining a movement. Maybe they were. That, I feel, is the cover of what they're doing. They were actually entering a database. That's what I believe is happening. So to preface everything, this entire live stream is our opinion, my opinion. Anything that we do or say in this live stream today and subsequent as a result are just our opinion and our investigative framework in order to determine and figure out exactly what we believe to be the truth. And it could be all not even real, right? So really, though, last week we showed you a lot of the money, a lot of the connections. We talked about questionable insider payments documented across 5 states, land plots, IRS filings, FARA documents, Jake Hoffman's entities, Olympic Media, Stacey Sheridan, you've seen on my channel as well. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can, and also turn on your notifications. I know a lot of people have even been saying they've been getting unsubscribed. And I think it's interesting because my last video that I launched last night, it showed a very weird unsubscribe thing going on. Something was going on because it got like 1,000 likes or whatever. I don't know how many, a lot of likes and like one dislike, but then it was going all up and down and unsubscribe and subscribe. It was like every time someone subscribed, it would unsubscribe somebody. So make sure your notifications are on. You'll remember that you subscribed, and when you do that, so if that happens, please let us know in the comments, because I think that's a little strange for sure. But yeah, so there's also been some things that we've uncovered since then. But we showed you drones. We talked about who were involved potentially, or like who's doing things with drones. What legislation is being produced or law that could be implemented and that is being questioned in the Senate and in Congress. We showed things with footage of no-fly zones, but then showing or saying that they couldn't fly footage or couldn't fly drones. But we showed footage of flying drones. Oh, we got our co-host right here. What's up, bro? Welcome.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm late, having a little bit of connectivity issues here on my end. Luckily, I had the wonderful Danks here that could fill in for me. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you all for joining us today, and I'll let him continue what he was doing here.
Yeah, hopefully everything's good with the camera, and that should fix it. I think it will, but Let's keep going. All right, cool. So I was just filling them in on what we were talking about last week. So essentially, yeah, I mean, we talked about how, I mean, Frank Turek, Brian Harpole said that there was no ability to have drones, but then Frank Turek said we had drones. Brian said we didn't, or they didn't. But we showed footage, obviously, of drones being there, right? We showed Eric Schmidt, ex CEO of Google, former CEO of Google. He did not retire to play golf or play poker or whatever, go for walks in a tracksuit. He's been spending the last 4 or 5 years, or since his retirement, really lobbying for domestic drones through the National Security Commissions on AI. His company, originally called White Stork, was rebranded as Project Eagle, which has the same name as the TPUSA's high school recruitment program. That's not a coincidence. Now, I have seen evidence of Turning Point education. So again, the constant, never-ending changing of entities and shell companies is a massive red flag for me. But all that aside, we showed you land, property, Farnsworth, Hoffman families who own massive agricultural parcels in Utah and various other states right next to each other. Land transfers between entities happening for $0, quick claim deeds. There's also, I've been trying to connect Eagle permits, 50 CFR 22s. That hasn't been as easy for me, but that is going to come with due time. We've talked about agriculture land used for wildlife conservation or religious purposes, becoming not exempt from normal FAA oversight through an FCC waiver on the website, the government website. Private, unregulated airspace is really what it's all about. They need that. No public flight tracking, no civilian oversight. We showed you the Sky Foundry Act, Senate Bill 2506, introduced by Ted Cruz. The main guy keeps showing up in my investigations. Bought out by 70% bought out by just 3 people. So, distributed manufacturing, private public interpartnerships. The bill was being implemented, or at least it looks like they're trying to start shaping something around this Make Heaven Crowded tour, which has been launched with Show Faith by Works. I built a website actually that has close to 300 FARA documents showing a whole money pipeline. So go ahead.
I thought you actually froze up on your end for a second. So I didn't think I was interrupting you. I apologize.
You're good.
No, the Sky Foundry Act actually gives the government it allows the government to go in and have access to all that data without any guardrails or anything. So anything Turning Point gets, they just hand right over to the government to do whatever they want, build whatever databases they want. And that's one of the reasons why it's so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, the Sky Foundry Act's got a lot of things wrapped into it with the NDAA, National Defense of something, I forget exactly right now, but essentially really enacting the ability to mandate 1 million drones made per year, but also mandate the ability to fly drones that can data harvest over civilian population in the public spaces and events. So these are the types of things that we believe that is happening with the Make Heaven Crowded tour. And we have something pretty exciting that we want to talk about. Whether it's exciting or not, it needs to happen and somebody's going to have to do it. And so we're going to do it. And we'll get into that. So make sure that you stick around, because not too long from here, in this live stream, we're going to tell you exactly what we plan on doing. But it's important for you to just know the foundation of what we're talking about. We talked about Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, trained by George Soros for over 25 years, made Soros $1 billion in one day on Black Wednesday in the UK by nearly destroying the British economy. Received $2 billion from Soros on his own and we'll go through super chats either through the end. We're not going to be going 4 hours today, so we'll probably go through most super chats at the end, I think, right?
Yeah, we'll take breaks. We'll see where it goes. We get a break, we'll get them. If not, we'll do them in the end. But we will get to everybody's super chat. No worries. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, Styons. Yeah, well, definitely. That's a super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. So we are literally watching how somebody who is a mortal enemy of Donald Trump who is a protege of George Soros, running the IRS department and multiple other Treasury departments, right? So he's determining who gets audited, who gets tax exempt status, organizations, nonprofits, non or for profits, financial intelligence operations, as well as anti-money laundering enforcement or non-enforcement. So that's Scott Bessent. You know, we also showed you Make Heaven Crowded. I think, did we show the forms last week or not yet? Do you have the form? Filling out, requiring forms.
No, we didn't show that actually. I'll go ahead and pull that up while you finish.
All right, make sure just see your camera. If so, you're gonna have to just click it off and on, I think. So there is a form that's being required to be filled out. I'm not sure if it's everybody who's at the events or certain individuals required to fill out medical forms.
I know what I was told. I don't think it's being done for everybody at these events. I could be wrong. We'll find out when we go, because that's one of the things that we're going to get into later. But they are all these Club America chapters that they're putting all over the country. Anybody who is signing up to be part of this, part of one of these chapters, has to fill out this medical form, which I'm pulling up now for you guys.
Camera's frozen, just so you know. I guess that didn't work. Sorry about this. I got something that I want to share with y'all. I'm gonna pin it in my chat, and then we'll discuss it. Create a sub 150 character version for a pin comment. So I'm going to pin something here shortly, just so you know. But let's go ahead and dive a little bit further. We also talked about Lori Fronsby. Now, her patent is actually from 2005, and it's no longer like authorized or like being utilized is what it looks like. But I think from since last week, I believe that they've actually taken this patent on critical vulnerabilities and like propensities and weaknesses in data and hardware and software and people and actually upgraded it to something that we don't know about yet. And we even ran facial recognition analysis on Tyler Robinson, something that I built, software that analyzes who he is versus who he isn't. So we're going to basically dive deeper into part 2 now. Or dive deeper from part 1. Do you want to show that there?
Yeah, so this is the form here. There's not really anywhere to make it bigger, I don't think. But yeah, this is just a medical release form that they are, like I said, they're requiring everybody who signs up for one of their chapters to fill out one of these forms, allowing them access to pull all your medical records, your dental records, psychological records, everything. So why would Turning Point need access to all of that for you to join a high school club?
Yeah. That's, I haven't been in school in a long time, right? I'm sure there's a reason that they say, but I think it's none of their freaking business, to be honest. If they've got a school nurse on staff, that's fine. I think if the school perhaps is taking this information, that's even kind of brushing against boundaries. I don't know what schools are doing these days. My daughter's school is not requiring that. She's young, but nonetheless, I think that this is kind of BS, right? So what I want to do, though, is I want to start off.
It's so messed up. It's so messed up. And, that, like I said, that's just one more data point for them to be able to put in your file when they, like I said, they're trying to identify, they're trying to have a file where they identify each and every person, biometrics on them. They want to get your psychological history. They want to get your medical history. They want to get your gait. They want to get your actual, like your fingerprints and your ears. Like they want to be able to track you. They want to be able to identify you no matter anywhere you are in the country, any event, any camera. And then they want to be able to use that information, who you interact with, who's in your circle. That way they can better control you. It's all about control. It's all about manipulation. That's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that is, unless I'm there seeing, like, talking to someone, asking why, getting an answer straight from their mouths, I'd like to know, maybe we can get a public statement saying, like, why are you asking? Maybe we can ask a student if there's any. I mean, look, they have what, 100,000 something chapters now. I think that, or there's tens of thousands for sure. I think if there's one student that comes across this, make sure that you send us an email. I'll put the banner down below, so you know where to contact us at. You can email us right there. And look, we just want to know the truth. Again, we're not here to claim that any maliciousness, if nothing like that, is happening. But the longer and further you go as a company, not answering some of the more important questions, that drives skepticism. And with skepticism comes more prying from those that are skeptics.
And especially when they don't tell us where that data goes. Like, what are they doing with that? Who's having access to it? Where's that being sent once they get the data? How are they storing the data? That's all questions that the public needs to know, that we deserve a right to know. Real quick, though, about this comment here, homeschool your children. Absolutely. 100%. Pull them out of, you should not have, especially public schools, You do not want your kids in public school. All they are is indoctrination camps. That's basically it. They're indoctrination, brainwashing camps. So definitely.
Jesus.
I mean, that's what they are. I mean, straight up. Yeah, if you look at history, all the history textbooks and everything, they rewrite them based on revisionist history every so many years or decades or whatever to push you in the direction that they want you to go. I mean, just like Mike Huckabee he was caught on some microphones, I think in Israel, talking about, oh well, when the right now October 7th, but when we look back at October 7th years from now, we want to make sure that we rewrite history to make Israel look like the victim. How else can you interpret that as brainwashing? They're pretty much trying to revisionist history, brainwashing, and that's what it is. And they're teaching that to our kids in school at a young age. They're pushing the critical race theory on them. They're pushing all this garbage on them. The transsexual, homosexual crap, everything, man. Get your kids out of school, big time.
Yeah, it's not easy, right? If you work, both parents work. If that's a possibility, it's something that should be definitely looked at, or at least private school where you're more involved. Or if you can't, I would say get involved in the parent-teacher committee. That's another way, at the very least, right?
You guys could even do what Candace does. She doesn't just self-parent on her own. She actually has a group of mommies that she's in a group with, and they take turns. She'll teach them one day, somebody else will teach them another day. They do group schooling, but they do it at home privately within a group of their trusted peers. And I mean, it should definitely be a priority. If you can't do it now, you should work towards that for sure. If you value your children, if you value their future, you definitely want to make that a priority.
I'm going to pin something to the chat. Let me see if I can find it here. Not sure what happened to it. Let me see. So we are going to get into this pin right here. I put it on mine. If you have your studio up, I can send it to you in the private chat, what I put up there. So a couple of things before we get into the video today. I built a website. It tracks FARA documents for the 12 entities that I've tracked that are FARA compliant, which means they've filed a document with the Foreign Agent Registrations Act for the United States. Basically allows them to work with the interest of a foreign entity or foreign government. And in this case, it all happens to be with a country with an I in the Middle East, our favorite ally. I think I'll just refer to as our favorite ally. But I built a website, and it tracks all of these entities, how much money is going to and from. I started investigations, and I started building the Americans for Transparency organization website, afnpt.org. or americansfortransparency.org. We'll show that. But what's really, this is a very vast topic. There's a lot of moving parts. And that's why I wanted to bring up these chats real quick. Thank you for the super sticker. And Keats, he does say, love the new website. So I had a members only live stream. So every Friday around in the morning, late morning, I'll be doing members only live streams. It's only 99 cents to join. So please join the membership if you want to be a part of the weekly live streams for the members. I basically rolled out a beta version of the site. I've been working on it all day to have it ready for today's live stream so that we can go ahead and look into it and utilize it. And I built an AI agent called Agent Danks on the website that you can engage with and ask questions and learn. If there's any issues, because it's like 2 days old and I'm still working on it, just leave a comment somewhere or send me an email. Let me know what issues you're finding on the site. But I think I fixed a lot of the issues from yesterday. So yeah, there's a lot to cover today. So you ready?
Great website. You guys definitely should check out that website. It's phenomenal. The work he's done on that website, man, is phenomenal.
I'm gonna create a banner for it. Americans for Nonprofit Transparency.
And that'll tie into the work we're doing with this, like what we're doing now. We're going to be going out and doing this, creating an app and doing testing, and we'll get into it later. But the project we're working on now is going to tie into that down the road. Other projects we do, we're going to tie into that, and it's going to be a good thing, and it's something that's definitely needed right now for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put this up there. So that's the website, and we'll go and take a look at it together here shortly. But there was a video that we watched that I think a lot of people have seen. It was on Fox News, and it was Andrew Colvett, in my opinion, overplaying their hand. Look, if this is all true, what we're talking about, then for me, I feel like this is them overplaying their hand because, well, I guess maybe we'll play it and then we can discuss why I think it's important, and he can as well. So yeah, I think we'll get right into that. Ready? Let's go. All right, here we go.
Rock and roll.
Let's see what we got here. All right, let's do it.
Andrew Colvett, executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, joins us now. Great to see you, Andrew. I'm still sort of amazed at the whole concept that there's nothing more racist than the idea that Democrats and Democrats alone espouse, which is that if you're a legal Hispanic voter in America, you love open borders, even though that brings all of the problems mostly to your neighborhood. I can't think of anything.
Sorry, this is the wrong one. My bad. Hold on 1 second. I was looking at something else. Here we go. There we go.
St. John's University in New York rejected an application from Turning Point USA. Turning Point was not alone. Other applications were rejected too. St. John's is a private Catholic school. Was the rejection based on politics? Does the First Amendment apply to private schools which receive federal money? Joining us as spokesperson for Turning Point USA, Andrew Colvett. Welcome, Andrew. I want to, again, express my sympathy with the loss of your friend. They say time heals all things. It doesn't. So my sympathies to you. I know that you lost an extremely close friend. Tell us what happened, which criterion were allegedly unmet, and whether TPUSA will reapply at St. John's.
Yeah, well, thank you for the sentiment, Trey. And you're right. There's certain things you don't get over. But we're doing our best to continue honoring what Charlie's mission was and his legacy through Turning Point. So, and I'm so glad to talk about St. John's because this is exactly what he spent his life doing. And to answer your question, no, they didn't give us much clarity at all. Their letter to us was vague. It just said, sorry, at this time, we regret to inform you. And it's a lot of hypocrisy involved, especially, Trey, I want to highlight this for your audience, with Catholic and Christian private universities across the country. We are at a point now, Trey, after Charlie's assassination, where all the Ivy Leagues, which historically never let us form chapters, they're all getting on board. And they're lapping these private Catholic and Christian universities. They are time and time again the worst of the worst. When it comes to St. John's, We got rejected the first time in 2020. Then we got rejected again in 2024, and now again just recently. And what's interesting about this, actually, our field rep in New York City is a guy named Anthony Romano. I recommend everybody check him out on X. He's been keeping everybody apprised of this story. He was actually the chapter member that was trying to form the RSO in 2020, gets rejected, was so disappointed at St. John's because he's a proud Catholic, local New York boy. He ended up transferring to Alabama and getting involved in the chapter there. And once he graduated, he went to work for us. And now he's trying to do the good work that he can in New York City because he sees the hypocrisy in plain view. I mean, there's every kind of LGBTQ plus group you can imagine. There's pro-Palestine groups at St. John's. They even make housing for gender affirming housing, and they have special lavender graduation ceremonies, everything you can imagine at St. John's. But for some reason, a pro-America, pro-capitalist, conservative student group is beyond the pale for these folks.
Well, like a smart guy, you anticipated my next question. I was going to ask you, when I hear Catholic, I think anti-death penalty, for instance, which I respect. I mean, if that's your position, that's fine. It's not mine, but if that's yours, that's fine. I was going to ask you, are there groups that have been approved that would make us think this is rank hypocrisy? It is content-based discrimination, but you just laid out things that I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church doesn't teach.
Yeah, well, they even have a letter, and I apologize for looking at my phone because it blew me away. I was like, I need that written. They have their bishops support LGBTQ and affirm them. So, it's a very fascinating thing. And I have a list here, Trey, because again, this isn't just a problem at St. John's. This is across the country at Catholic and Christian private universities. Time and time again, they are the biggest cowards. And so I'm going to call them out. Loyola University, Xavier, Seton Hall, Azusa Pacific, Point Loma Nazarene, Catholic University. This has been a trend, and it typically is a situation where they're, a Christian or Catholic university in a blue state, and they don't want to offend the political leaders of that state. And so time and time again, the university presidents could overrule these decisions. They could overrule them and intercede. They choose not to. So if you happen to be an alumnus or a donor at some of these universities I just mentioned, the only way to get around this at a private Christian or Catholic school is to put pressure on them. So we're asking for your help out there. Put the pressure on. Let them know this is not okay. Let them know that the hypocrisy is not okay. These are school chapters. And this is what's interesting, Trey. At St. John's, there's historically always been organic support for these clubs. We have a ton of students that want to form a club at St. John's, and they're being blocked. They're being blocked by their school leadership. And something needs to be done about it, and that comes from donors and alumni.
I'm just still trying to get my head around the schools that embrace atheism or agnosticism or no religion at all, allowing TPUSA, but self-described Catholic schools.
There's a whole reason why I'm playing this. I want you to see the whole thing. It's almost done, but I'm
trying to get my head around that. I know the Bible says Christians should not sue one another, but you might want to talk to a good lawyer, which excludes me, but you might want to talk to a good one. In the meantime, thank you for educating us on a Sunday night.
Absolutely.
So,
it's my pleasure.
So I think this is important, right? Because if we are not going to identify really what's going on here, then we're not doing enough due diligence, right? I made a video and I launched it yesterday talking about how this aggressive expansion into every school in America, my theory is really that TPUSA isn't an education organization. Maybe it has that aspect to it, but it's really a deployment for a massive AI-driven surveillance and data harvesting operation built to track Americans from childhood through adulthood and beyond. And the key evidence patterns really are this, right? Going back to this, showing this desperation to apply maximum pressure to a private entity that doesn't want anything to do with it. And then going on Fox News. So imagine the type of slander they must be experiencing after something like that. It's got to be bothersome, right? You've got so many other things that are evident, right? And it ties into everything that we're going to be talking about today. And it's really important to note that when we run analysis across, from the live streams that we've done and the Form 990s and the FARA documents, state corporate records, we really found, I think, the missing piece here, which was, or at least one of the missing pieces, which is what I think that we've been able to derive from Andrew Colvett, which is this desperation to hurry up and ultimately implement this this system. I don't know any other way to put it. I feel like there's a system being literally put in right in front of our eyes, and they're using religion and education as a disguise. And it's not right, man. I don't know why they think they can go in and change the sentiment through public pressure, because then that makes the school look weak. I encourage the school to do whatever they want. It's a private school. But one other thing is that it's actually becoming a criminal. Let me see if I can find it. Criminal to not let TPUSA into public school. I was looking at a news report. Let me see if I can pull it up here. If there was news on that.
The fact that they think that they can force people, haven't they learned yet that people don't like mandates, that we don't respond well to mandates and being forced to do things? I am okay 100% with them allowing these chapters in the school, but to force these schools to open up these chapters, I have a problem with that. And like Danks is saying, like, that definitely overplays his hand, because their end goal is to have a surveillance state to where they can get you all the way from, and eventually it'll be middle school and elementary school too. I mean, they're going to start young, man. They want to be able, their end goal is to track conservatives from the cradle to the grave. They want to know everything about you, to be able to track you, to track your movements, to know who your family is, to know all your tics, to know all your weaknesses, your strengths, your employment, medical history, everything. So that, by them making a big deal about just this one school turning them down and saying, no, we don't want your chapter, that just shows that we're on the right path. Because in order for them to enact this massive surveillance thing, it has to be complete. It has to be 100% compliance. If they don't have 100% compliance, then there's going to be gaps and holes that that they can't track, and pockets of what they call them, opposition, or not opposition, but there was that one show. What was that one show or a movie? Insurrection or the insurgents or something, like, where it's they're not part of the they're outside of the matrix, basically, and they don't want anybody to be outside of the matrix.
Yeah, there's so what is this message deleted by? Oh yeah, okay, cool. So we do have a few mods in here. I had a bot in here earlier that I took away, just so you know. But where did that comment go? I had it up. Damn, I lost it. I wanted to address somebody who was asking a question. Oh, here it is. So they said Texas high schools do not allow cell phones in their schools. So I'm confused on why TPUSA wants a chapter in every high school in Texas. They won't be able to get their data. Okay, one, we're assuming that with this question that what we're saying is true. Okay. Two, which we can't certainly say, but I'm getting there. But second, you don't need anybody's phone in order to collect their data. There are many other ways. And also there are cameras inside of every school. So whether or not you decide to hack into the cameras, deploy your algorithm, and be able to monitor the personality of students, also computers, laptops, they all have cameras in schools. So they can monitor the retina, the pupil dilation, the interactions within all the schools, identify them through facial recognition. You don't need any cell phone. You can collect data on people. The whole point is not just cell phone data. A lot of high school kids don't even have a cell phone. Elementary kids don't even have a cell phone. It's about collecting as much data as possible, from cell phone digital signature data all the way to physical reaction data, all the way to everything, conversations, literally recording everything. And that doesn't leave just the students. You're talking about teachers, principals, parents, sports events. You're literally talking about a surveillance apparatus. Isn't just a cell phone. It is everything. It is literally everything. All right. It's my camera. It's your computer. It's your phone. It's your outdoor camera looking at your driveway. It's everything.
Televisions, even your Wi-Fi tracks you now. Everything, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that, you know, people have to understand is like, you can't think small. You've got to think a lot bigger than anything you've ever thought about when it comes to insurging, I guess, a full-blown apparatus. When I say apparatus, like, do people know what the definition of apparatus? Here, let me tell you of apparatus. So the definition of apparatus in the context of apparatus for Turning Point USA, the structural organization and functionality of a system that is able to fully power any and all things in order to exercise. So in disputes over school clubs, the term often describes administration or bureaucratic apparatus for systems of operations, administrative power, political structure, scientifics, gymnastics, legal definition of education, laws like IDE, equipment, interchangeable, machinery, utilities, instruction materials, equipment for sets of materials, tools, firefighting. I mean, apparatus is an all-encompassing definition for a system. So it's structured in methods of operations of a system. So if you're building an artificial intelligence, data harvesting, gathering, algorithmic apparatus, you need everything, the whole system, which means people, things, places, and all things that govern all of those places, right? So it's a full-blown system. So yeah, there's a video that I was going to play here. Whenever if you have something to say on that.
I use it interchangeable with operation. You know, you could think of, you know, when it says apparatus, I think of it as like an operation, because basically what they're doing is they're running an operation. This whole thing is like a big operation that they're running on us, and it's composing a lot of different parts of data under that umbrella, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and there's a bigger picture. I mean, that's what we're getting into. Like it's not just Turning Point. Like the thing that we want to make what we're trying to bring together for you guys is Turning Point is just a tool. It's not the main event. It's not the main part of it. You know, what they're trying to do is Trump and, well, we'll get into that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. So go ahead. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, it's all good. I think maybe it's important to understand like the foundation of why all of this kind of is coming to light. And it's so funny how things end up coming out, right? There's a lot of different parts, right? And the financials, the investigations. We're gonna lead up to it, but this video, which many of you have seen by now, really shows a picture of what is actually why the urgency. Like, think about it. Charlie Kirk, before his demise, he died, his assassination. He has dates, right? I think it was by 2025 to have 35,000 chapters in the United States for schools. Why the urgency, right? And then this video, which I'll go ahead and play.
They just called it for Pennsylvania, Charlie. It is
Fox just called.
Just reporting it. Let's go, baby.
Charlie, what is the number?
White House.
What is the number?
Is that it?
On that bar?
Is that it? Are they going to actually count the votes in Arizona now because they've given up?
Fox News decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's
go.
Everyone stand up. Let's go. We're not going back. We're not going back.
Fox called it right there.
We're not going back. You know, I just caught that, bro. Isn't that interesting?
This is Let's go. Everyone stand up. Let's go. We're not going back. We're not going back.
Fox called it right there.
What does that mean exactly?
Holy cow.
You know what I think it means? We're not going back. Like, Charlie is so like, of course, if you work hard for something, and I think that everybody should be happy, especially when they've worked so hard for something like this. But again, there's multiple issues with just this picture right here. They are an education 501c3. They shouldn't be wearing MAGA hats. They shouldn't be cheering on an election for a specific person. It's just not how charity works when it comes to this. It's just against the law. So that's besides the point right now. I just caught it for the first time. We're not going back.
Going back.
I think
you know what I'm going with that, right?
Oh, definitely. I think they're talking about jail, and also, you know, how it was before. Like they're not going back to, and who said that? Was that Tyler that said that, or who said that? It was Tyler, right? Okay, that's what I thought. So the other thing that I think he was thinking there is when he says we're not going back, he's thinking monetarily wise as well. He's like, oh, we're not going back to how it was before with the poverty. Like now Trump's in office, we're going to all be rich, baby. You know, like that's what he's thinking.
I'm going to add some tinfoil to that one and say we're not going back in a way that is we're never going to go back to the way things were done before. We finally have 4 years to implement the whole entire thing we've been working all these this whole decade for. And this is the time now to implement and roll out what we've been talking about, is this system, this apparatus. That's what I think this is, but I could be wrong. But also, you can see his face is more than just celebration. It's like this overwhelming relief, right? And he's also admitted on camera, him being investigated. You guys have all probably seen it by now. Maybe I can find it. Charlie, you know who it was? It was on what's that girl's name? Daily SEO Charlie Kirk. I have the video here, so let me find where's she. I'll just pull it up from my video. But yeah, I mean, you can see his excitement, his enthusiasm, but it's because of this. Here, let me pull up this video.
The number.
White House.
What is the number?
Is that it?
Happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all.
Joe Biden sent the entire
right here. You're not going to go to jail. This is the kind of relief that you get when you realize that you're not going to go to jail. He said it himself on camera, out loud.
Do you know why I cried on election night? Let me tell you why, because I think you might appreciate this as a historian. Joe Biden sent the entire federal government after Turning Point USA and me personally. They wanted me in federal prison. And by the way, that's what despots do.
They wanted me in federal prison. I mean, for me, it's a lot, right? So then when you go back and you see the enthusiasm, and again, I'm not discounting the fact that they worked hard.
Guys, they just called it. They
saying that Fox
this enthusiasm.
Called it. I'm sure they did, but
the doubt, the worry after it being called, it's surreal, right? It's surreal. And when you want something so bad that it feels like your life depends on it. Like imagine if you were trying to, I don't know, I can't even recall. Maybe you're in court and you're about to you're getting arrested and you're in court and the judge is like about to declare you going to prison for 10 years or not. It's surreal. You probably have to like let it sink in, right? That's what's happening.
seeing Fox call it live, Charlie.
Saying it.
Let me give you credit from right here in Pennsylvania. You were the guy, you and Tyler convinced me. You said, Cliff, stop door knocking across the country, go back to your home state, own Pennsylvania. That will be the deciding factor. I thought you guys were nuts. We knocked 500,000 doors. We delivered
So we've seen this probably. If you haven't, just you can type that in and look.
And so yeah, absolutely. So he said there that he was so happy because he did not want to go to jail. That's what those tears were from, because he knew if Trump was elected, he was not going to go to jail. Now, why is that? That is because him and Trump convinced him to go all in with him to help get him elected. And in doing that, and there's a reason behind that, but in doing that, Charlie pretty much broke campaign rules as far as what the nonprofit can do as far as campaigning. They're supposed to be nonpartisan, like Dank said. They've also broken other laws when it comes to the finances. So they knew, and then on top of that, you had Arctic frost that they were coming down on them, targeting them because they were working with Trump. So,
well, that's really what it is Arctic frost. That's what's driving all of this, right? So, it's a lot of it. I mean, it's a combination actually, but basically the main thing is, and I got a little summary here. The 2024 election, it was not a Democratic contest. What it was actually a hostile corporate takeover of the United States government. Turning Point was also not a grassroots conservative charity, but it was a military-grade intelligence operation built to harvest the biometrics and the behavioral data of pretty much every conservative American. Charlie Kirk and his organization, they were basically the useful idiots. They were used by Trump to install a new regime of the technocratic elites, which is the new shadow government, which is Trump and his cronies, like Peter Thiel, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, people like that. And then Charlie was then discarded when the mission shifted after the election because Charlie was not in for what, he was not down. Once that whole mission to get Trump elected, that's what they were in for. And once they accomplished that, then the mission shifted and Trump was doing things completely opposite of what he was saying. And I think what he was telling Charlie, and Charlie was not down for the direction Trump was going. So he was distancing himself. Like with Israel, he was distancing himself from Israel. He was opposing Trump with the Epstein files. He was opposing Trump on Iran. So that is why they took him out. And as far as what Trump is doing, like I said, it's a bigger coup. What it is we've always known Trump has been a globalist. Trump has always been a globalist. He's always been friends with the Epsteins, with Clintons, with the Rothschilds. He's always been in that circle, that same social circle. So he was part of that, and I think he decided that he was going to split off from them. So the current shadow government that was in place, the ruling elites that were in power at the time, Trump decided he was going to start his own shadow government, and he was going to take over, a corporate takeover, a forced hostile takeover and it's not just the presidency, but the actual shadow government behind the presidency, because we all know the president basically is just a puppet for the big donors, the people behind the scenes that fund their campaigns. So that's what it's all about. Charlie and Turning Point were just a tool for the much bigger coup that was in effect, which is still going on now, by the way. It's not fully in effect. Trump is they're still feuding. These elite families are still feuding each other for control. And that's kind of what we're all stuck in the middle of. Yeah. I mean, we had a long conversation last night regarding this and really trying to figure out your camera's frozen again, by the way. We're really trying to figure out what's going on with potentially what could be happening with Trump, because you have to realize if they're going to Trump is a give take kind of person, it seems. He's a business person. And with the Eggstein files coming out lately, starting to see the shadow government working from behind the scenes. And we were talking about, well, if Trump is really not as powerful as they tell us he is, who is really running the picture? Is it Bibi? And I said, well, I don't think so. I think that Bibi is actually one person closer than Trump to the ultimate power structure. And what I think is actually is the Rothschilds. I think the Rothschilds or the Rothschilds.
Rothschilds.
Yeah. I
Roth.
wine in sommelier, so in French it's pronounced Rothschilds, but Rothschilds, as everyone knows, these are the ultimate powerful. They've been around for centuries, this family. Some people have even alleged that they, take these certain things that probably don't want to say much of in order to live longer, right? But they've struck a deal with the devil, is basically what people have said. And I believe in order to gain this type of political, financial power ability, that comes with an ultimate price. Maybe you can, we're diving further down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but when it comes to who controls the world, I think a lot, if not most people, even in the political sphere, would say that the Rothschilds would be the number one most powerful people. And even Eggstein himself said, I work for the Rothschilds. So,
100%. And especially when you look at the context of what's happening now with Erica and Turning Point, because Erica herself is actually a Rothschild.
Yeah, you made a video about that, didn't you? Where is it? Is it on YouTube, your old channel?
Yeah, it's on my old channel. But Erica herself is actually a Rothschild. So the pieces all fit. That it brings the pieces all together.
Yeah, that's something interesting. I still haven't seen that video that you told me about, but for sure, the reason why we're talking about this is because we have to think about like who controls the world, and ultimately all of this data that we're talking about, where does it end up? And the thing is, I've said this before, we have to be fools not to think that there's a apparatus already being implemented in various other countries. So when we see that, and when people know this, if you're Trump and if you're Charlie Kirk and if you're TPUSA and you have the opportunity to build out your own version of that, it gives you more power than just letting another country come in or another organization like Palantir. Maybe it is Palantir working with, I think Palantir is working with Turning Point USA. I don't have verification of that, but Peter Thiel is speaking at TPUSA events. JD Vance has invested in multiple, or has a fund that he started with $250,000. I don't know if it was his money or not, but he basically started this fund, and it is in AI, intelligence, systems, and companies like this. So when we're looking at why all of this could be and why Charlie would be so emotional, again, not discounting the fact that he did, his job, but why was he so blatant? And even after the investigation started, they went full bull. When I say full bull, I mean like bull market, just like full bull, like all the way. We're going for Trump. We're going to elect Trump. We want them in office. They didn't lighten up, even when they knew they were under investigation. So there's got to be a reason for that. The reason, in my opinion, is because they know that if they don't get Trump elected, they know they're going to prison, and that's it. If they do get Trump elected, then they know that they have the years that they need in order to implement what could ultimately roll out the power structure for this system. Because if you think about it, they're rushing it. They're applying pressure to schools. You need every single data ability, every person, every student. And once you implement that, then maybe that's why Charlie had to go. Because if Charlie goes and everybody goes to court, then they can just all blame it on Charlie and say Charlie did that. It was Charlie's decision, and it was Charlie. Erica Kirk is protected as a widow, as the wife. There's a lot of things that people benefit from with Charlie being gone. They don't have to go to prison. They can take in the money that he didn't want to take in. Go ahead if you wanted to. I mean, it's.
I think that's more of a after effect, though, like a cause. I don't think that's the main thing. I think, like I said, I think Charlie was taken out because he was leaving the Israel cause, and I think also because he was becoming a problem for Trump as well, a loose end.
So I want to play. Let me see how long this one is. I want to play something. I haven't seen this full one yet. It's from the Young Turks. I like these guys, but they talk about this former campaign manager of Trump who has become a foreign agent for Israel. Okay. And what's interesting is that this same person that I'm going to show you this video, 7 minutes long, I'll put it on at 1.25 speed. This same person worked with Charlie Kirk for nearly a decade. And so what's interesting is that Clock Tower LLC, I think Barron was the first one to break this. I found out more details about it, and I put it on the website that I'm going to be showing you shortly after this. Essentially, Turning Point, America's Turning Point, which was they had their office in Las Vegas, 101 Convention Circle or something center, and they gave a grant for research to a Clock Tower LLC. It was $999,828, something like that. Just shy, $180 shy of $1 million. This money ended up going very vaguely into a shell company for research for educational purposes. And then 20 to 26 months later, that entity, Clock Tower LLC, dissolved. They didn't renew it in 2022. And then shortly after
hold on a second. So you're saying, what you're saying is one of Trump's former campaign advisors or managers is the agent or the person in charge of Clock Tower. Is that what you're saying? Or
yeah, he runs Clock Tower X LLC. So where I'm going with this is that the money that they gave to Clock Tower LLC, which was almost $1 million from America's Turning Point to Clock Tower LLC, that company dissolved. It was under a person called Nicholas Miller. And actually, the Miller family runs this registered agency out of Vegas that they used the name of one of their family members as a principal on the company as a shield. So you don't know who's in the company. Then that company dissolved. Then this person that we're going to show a video of Trump's former manager, also working with Charlie Kirk, has formed a company called Clock Tower X LLC, accepted $9 million from our greatest ally to perform AI SEO manipulation in the bias of our favorite allies' bias. And 8 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, they filed the FARA application. So they've taken that money. I can't connect the two. It's really hard for me to connect the two. I can't connect this clock tower with that clock tower. But what's interesting is that he's from, I think, called Medina, Ohio, or such with an M, and they have a very famous clock tower that they believe, that I've been researching, that is believed to be they're basically inspiration of all of this name, right? So I think that we'll go ahead and play this, and we'll see what this says. I haven't watched it, but I think this should be spot on.
I'm almost positive that both those clock towers are connected together. If anybody has any information that can prove that connection, definitely email us. Let us know. Our emails are scrolling down the bottom of the screen here. So definitely let us know.
Yeah, what's interesting is that the new clock tower, it has an X at the end of it. It's Clock Tower X LLC, but he was in a news article or an interview and referred to it as just Clock Tower LLC. So it's a registered foreign agent for our favorite ally, and they've accepted $9 million as propaganda for manipulating our numbers, our data here in the United States on the internet.
And by the way, this should be illegal. The fact that we are allowing these companies to take in money from foreign governments to be an agent for these foreign governments to run psychological operations on our people, on our soil, just blows my mind. I mean, that should be illegal. Why is that not illegal? We need to pass laws that make that illegal. Not just Israel, but any country. We shouldn't allow any country to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say, well, at least they're telling us with the FARA, but that shouldn't even be allowed, right? I think that shouldn't even be allowed.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if that's what they're doing, if they're doing all that, if that's what they're showing us, just imagine what they aren't showing us.
That's very true.
Because AIPAC does not have to register as a foreign lobby. So you could just imagine all the shady crap that they're doing, that it's probably 1,000 times worse than what we're seeing on the books here through these FARA filings.
Absolutely. And this is going to go a little bit over that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Cenk says. Let's see what the intro is. I might fast forward it a little bit before we go in. You got anything else on that? All right, let's see what we got.
President Donald Trump's 2020 campaign manager, Brad Parscale, is now a foreign agent.
This is from 4 months ago.
Israel's 2020 campaign manager, Brad Parscale, is now a foreign agent of Israel who will rake in millions of dollars to spread pro-Israel propaganda to young Americans. This comes on the heels of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealing his plan to get billionaire Zionists to take control of TikTok and other social media platforms to push pro-Israel messaging. Parscale filed paperwork with the Foreign Agents Registration Act saying he began work for the Israeli government on September 18th. He registered a company called Clock Tower X LLC and is primarily corresponding with Israel's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Iran Sheyovich, listed as chief of staff at Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, according to his LinkedIn. According to Parscale's contract, his company is hired to create content where at least 80% is tailored to Gen Z audiences across platforms, including TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, and other relevant digital and broadcast outlets. The contract also states, agency shall provide strategic communications, planning, and media services in support of clients' engagement by the State of Israel to develop and execute a nationwide campaign in the United States to combat anti-Semitism. This news is relevant, especially since we saw Netanyahu push the importance of influencers during his UN meeting last week. Take a look.
How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged.
I want to show you guys something real quick. This is the registration form. I have all the registration forms for every entity that's filed FARA from our favorite ally that I could find. There's 12 major entities, and we're going to go through everything here, but I just want to show you that.
Have you showed them the website yet? I think you should show the website as well, because that website is clutch, man. You did such an amazing job on that.
Yeah, I'll show them right after. Well, I guess they get the point, right? Let me see what Cenk says. He usually gives some interesting insights, and then we'll show the website.
Algorithm, which means TikTok will officially be a propaganda machine. Now, Cenk, what do you make of this?
Yeah, so what I make of it is that Larry Ellison is going to lose a couple $2 billion. So I think that it has a chance of turning into Rupert Murdoch buying MySpace. He's like, oh, I hear the kids are all on MySpace, and Murdoch comes and buys it. Everybody's like, let's get out of here. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that. This was a long time ago, kind of beginning of the internet type of stuff. So now when they're like, okay, everybody, you could rest assured TikTok's still the place to go. We've got our Israeli censors in. We've got the guy who donated to a foreign military. Who gives charity to a foreign military? What a strange thing to do, right? Okay, then we got the former IDF soldier who's now the hate speech manager.
Okay, so I'm wondering if he's talking about
a foreign barely censors in. We've got the guy who donated to a foreign military.
Are they talking about Charlie Kirk's entity there, donating to a foreign military?
We've got the guy who donated to a foreign military. Who gives charity to a foreign military? What a strange thing to do, right? Okay.
Interesting. Let's go ahead and check out the website. So it's Americans for Transparency. There's two, AmericansForTransparency.org or AFNPT.org. So hopefully this all loads up. Yep. All right. So I built this site. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it yet. I was thinking about doing it a nonprofit, but I'm not sure if a nonprofit is the best way to go, only because of the journalism aspect of it. But we'll figure that out, the details. But essentially, this is Americans for Nonprofit Transparency, and it's built to bring the United States of America's people pure nonprofit transparency through any means necessary. Our mission statement, I'll zoom in a little bit here. I'll make it bigger if anyone wants to see it. I'll make this a little wider. So our mission statement exists to close the transparency gap between American nonprofits and the public they serve. Every year, Americans donate over $500 billion to nonprofit organizations. These organizations enjoy tax-exempt status, meaning they operate with the public's trust and effectively with the public's money. Yet, the vast majority of donors never read a single IRS Form 990, never verify whether their contributions were used for the stated charitable purpose, and never discover the complex financial structures, shell entities, and undisclosed relationships that can hide behind the shield of tax exemption. This is not acceptable in a functioning democracy. The nonprofit sector, encompassing over 1.8 million tax-exempt organizations every year. These are 1.8 million entities that are nonprofits, represents one of the largest segments of the American economy, yet it operates with less public scrutiny than publicly traded corporations. While the SEC requires quarterly financial disclosures and real-time insider trading reports from public companies, nonprofit organizations are only required to file an annual IRS Form 990, which, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I've gone over extensively, Turning Point USA and entities related. And even that filing is frequently opaque, filled with boilerplate language, and difficult for ordinary citizens to interpret. AFNPT changes that. We are building the most advanced nonprofit transparency platform in the United States, powered by artificial intelligence, interactive investigation tools, and an unwavering commitment to sourcing every claim from publicly available government records. And basically, we do live investigations. So cross-reference things with FARA, forensic 990 analyses, corporate filing deep dives, education, interactive mapping, and I built our very own Agent Danks, which is an AI system that allows anyone to query hundreds of FARA documents, financial records, and connection databases in natural language, making investigative research accessible to everyone. I'll make it bigger again. And this is Agent Danks right down here. So you could literally talk to it. You could say, like, who is Brad Parscale? And what is Clock Tower X LLC? It'll search.
I hope you guys really appreciate that. I hope you guys really appreciate that. That's cool. It's like every time I hear him say that, I'm like, it's like Secret Agent Danks, Secret Agent Danks.
You know, it's fun. I love building tools, and I think building something for the public is what we need, right? So
yeah, I totally, and I love, like I said, I love the website. You're doing a great job on it. And yeah, we're definitely, the nonprofit that we're building is definitely gonna like, it's gonna be amazing, guys.
So yeah, absolutely. So right now I've got like 259 documents uploaded so far. I found a total of 329 that I do have in my database. I just need to finish putting them in. But we've tracked 12 foreign agents. I've reviewed roughly 24 Form 990s in a forensic manner, and we've sourced over 9,000 records. And you can see it's got an educational purpose notice. All right. So all content on this platform is presented for education and informational purposes only, which is protected under the First Amendment in the Constitution. This is an independent educational platform. Our analyses are based on publicly available records. And then I do a featured investigation, and I put all the information that I find there. So you can see what I was talking about before about America's Turning Point, social welfare organization, 501c4. They gave a $999,821 payment described as research on educational outputs on a Form 990 in fiscal year of 2019 on Schedule I as a line item. It was towards Clock Tower LLC out of Nevada at 101 Convention Drive, which is under the management of Key State Captive and Management, managed by Nicholas Miller, with 0 employees, 0 website, no visible operations, and dissolved of 2022 through state records. And then we have a FARA registered Clock Tower X LLC under foreign agency of our favorite ally via Havas Media in Germany. Owner is Bradley Parscale, former Trump 2020 campaign manager and also longtime associate of Kirk.
Now remind me real quick that Havas Media, they're like the main one financing this stuff, right?
Yeah, well, there's 3 actually. So if we look at this here, we can see you have the State of Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs right here. And then you see there's 3 major funds, okay? So you've got Havas Media of Germany, which is one of them. You have Havas Media USA LLC, and then you have the LDRS Group Limited from Tel Aviv. And then it shows how the money is cycling through. And then if you click on one of these, anybody can go to the website today. It tells you where the money came from, the people involved, and then you have an AI agent inside that you can talk to about everything as well. So this is just a map of everything that I've kind of put together. And so if we go through, we could literally see show faith by works here and go ahead.
I forget the name of it. I don't remember the name of it, but I uncovered an organization that was funded doing the same thing. And I think they changed their name to Havas actually, but I think they're the ones that were giving originally. They are I think they're connected to the ones that were given the $6,000 paychecks to influencers. Because that sounds familiar. That Havas Media sounds familiar.
Yeah, if you want, I can pull up Havas Media here. I'll put the links in the chat. People are asking for afnpt.org. So there's 2. They go to the same place, and I'll pin this. I don't know. My computer's laggy. I don't know why. So yeah. So essentially, you could like click on Show Faith by Works. It shows how much money they've taken in. They've taken in $4.1 million under Chad Schnitzker. They have 38 filed documents, and then you can view all the filed documents, FARA documents here, and you get a full network analysis as well. So FARA agents plus religious nonprofit network, how our favorite ally government funding flows through registered foreign agents and unregistered religious nonprofits to target American evangelical Christians, connecting Clock Tower X, TPUSA, PJTN. Guess who PJTN is? Lori Cordova Moore's entity. The very one.
Our favorite phone sex operator.
Yeah, so she's all over this website. You guys can look in her information if you want. So yeah, so this one shows, what are we looking at here? Which one is this? Oh, this shows the connection of Clock Tower, TPUSA, PJTN, and the broader influence. So 7 FARA registrations. Registrations are different than different filings. 3 religious nonprofits analyzed. So this is my live investigation, right? So if you click here, it'll take you to each one, and then it'll explain everything under the investigation. All right. And then it gives you the entire corporate timeline for the investigation. And then it gives you all the sourcing that we have done, right? So, and then we've got the TPUSA investigation. It tells you how we investigated it, comprehensive evidence-based education. So this is mostly geared around FARA and the money flowing through foreign funding. It shows the Experience Israel program, how much money they've given, Clock Tower X, assuming that this would be the same one, which there's no proving right now at this moment exactly that it's the same, but I can't imagine it being a different one. A geofencing campaign with Show Faith by Works that has taken in 4.1 million with this FARA filing. Esther Project, influencer recruitment from Bridgers Partners LLC, and then the MAGA influencers trip, favorite ally 365 and TPUSA out of Haritz is the source. So you've got the foreign principal, the state of that country, intermediary Havas Media, then you've got the agents, and then you have the target. So it goes from that country to the intermediary, to the agents, through the agents, then to the target, which is the American public through churches, influencers, and voters. So the key connection, reportedly by Haritz and American Conservative, confirms that these entities have received funding through that country's foreign ministry to host tours for young MAGA influencers. The government selected this because of its unique position to convey a pro stance that aligns entirely with America First agenda. And then Charlie Kirk regularly hosted the entity that has taken that money, Rabbi Pesak, in Pesak. Oh man, that in a different language is a very bad word.
Hold on 1 second, Danks. This comment right here says, I'm watching on my TV and the video looks skinny as it's set for cell phone. That's because there are two different streams. YouTube is when we go live, it gives you the option of two streams. So we're running both a vertical stream, which shows up in short feeds for people like on their cell phone, and then you have the regular stream, which is the horizontal or the horizontal one. Which is our regular stream. So if you're on the vertical stream, then you just have to go to our page and click on the other one. The other one will be the regular one.
Yeah, if you're on TV, you can just go to the creators page and then it'll show the stream. So that's TPUSA. You can go through all of this. See, this is a live investigation, so it's not fully updated. I was apprehensive of making it public, but I figured I might as well. So you guys can mess around with it and then let me know what you guys think about it. But yeah, I mean, everything that you could want to know, right? As far as the entire mapping and how all the money is moving through these entities and the documents as well. So we've got the agents here. The documents filed $164 million in funding from this foreign principal. Havas Media is the main primary one that has two arms, okay, from Germany and US, an intermediary routing from that government funding to US-based operations since 2014 per their very own filing. And then if you want, you can actually go to click view PDF and it'll pull open the PDF, right? So you don't have to go and find the number. I mean, it literally has everything inside of it, right? So imagine the Eggstein files, but the FARA files. Maybe you should add that domain, the FARA files. But yeah, you could go and do all the research you want. The point of this is to make it accessible to the public so that everybody can go and do their own versions of their research and come out with more information, because I can only do so much, right? I'm one person, and I can do a lot, but it's not easy, right? In order for me to go through and look through the names and everything like that, I put this together for everybody, for Americans, right? That's why it's called Americans for Nonprofit. All right. So I really hope that you guys can go in, share the site. Now, I will tell you, well, it's important that you know that I am paying for the AI agent because it costs money. So this is, I'm not, we're not accepting any donations on behalf of this website just yet, but we are do you want to talk about what we're going to be doing on figuring out how we are going to basically try to identify what's going on with the your camera's frozen again, with the potential of drone operating, collecting data, what we have planned, and what we would like to let the public know with full transparency what we are trying to do. Since I'm a coder, I have advanced coding abilities and AI and algorithmic understanding, doing high-end coding for just about anything. I can build anything, like literally. So we came up with an idea. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, as we kind of alluded to on our last live stream that we did together, we believe the Make Heaven Crowded tour is the rollout for them integrating the drones, how they're collecting people's data via these drones, like facial recognition cameras and stuff like that, as well as like Stingray systems, as well as other biometric things. And we believe that Make Heaven Crowded tour is like the testing ground for it. We believe this is where they are going to actually integrate all the parts together and try it out in the real world. Charlie, when that day when they took him out, that was the very first time that they had everything integrated to where, like we talked about before, I think they had it like a 70% success rate before, and then they needed, in order to get it up to that 90% success rate where they could integrate it and actually go forward with it, they had to do a live stress situation with public to see how the crowd reacts and test everything in a dynamic stress environment. So they did that, and now the Make Heaven Crowded tour is the rollout. And what me and Danks are going to do is we are going to go to two of these events, at least two of these events, maybe more. But we're going to go to at least two of these events. One is going to be April 8th in Philadelphia. The other is April 13th in Virginia Beach. 2 separate days. Danks is actually going to build a custom, he's actually already started, but he's building a custom surveillance detection device, basically an app that will run off your phone or possibly a computer, one of the two, probably your phone. And that will allow you to see any drones that are above you, whether they're registered or not. So that's one of the things that Danks is going to be doing with that. Me and him are both going to be going out there. We're going to be looking for drones. We're also going to be filming a documentary through the whole thing. We're going to be documenting our entire trip. We're going to be documenting creating the app. We're going to be documenting the everything we found during the investigation, and we'll present our findings with that. And I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be the first Charlie Kirk documentary that anybody has done yet. And more importantly, it's going to expose, hopefully, it's going to expose Turning Point for what they really are, or what we believe they are, which is this massive surveillance state, this massive surveillance operation apparatus. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go there and we're going to get proof of it. Hopefully,
obviously, or not, it's we need to know if it exists or not, right? And the whole idea is to find out if this is real, because they've said it, right? They've literally said they are able to track it.
Yeah, we've gotten, like the last episode, we've shown all the proof, like all these things. We have so many receipts that prove that everything fits together that says this is what they're doing, but we don't have, in order to catch them in the act, I mean, in order to be able to say 100% for sure, we have to catch them in the act. And that's what Danks and I are going to do, is we are going to go there and try to catch them in the act. So that's our plan. That's what we're going to do. And like I said, we're going to document it the whole way. And yeah, I mean, we have, we actually opened it up for.
You want me to read it and I'll show.
Yeah, go ahead. Show the page and you can talk about the donations.
You might want to fix the top there of the thing, but all right. So first, before I explain how I'm going to do this, let me read this. How we're going to do this. Let me read what this is. So, the Make Heaven Crowded Surveillance Trap documentary and counter tech operation. The mission is, and if it gets prolonged because of the length of time it might take to build, that's fine. We might have to push back to other events, but the goal is set for April 8th and April 13th. The reason why we chose 2 dates is because what if something doesn't go right on the first one? What if our software that I build doesn't work properly? Or what if there isn't anything at that event? We want to at least try 2 side by side. And we want this to be a completely crowd-engaged, crowd-funded opportunity where everyone gets involved. We're talking live streams, videos, a full documentary at the end, but then updates along the way. But yeah, so I'll just read this to you and then I'll explain a little bit about how this works. And the reverse ID drone data capturing system essentially is what it is. So it reverse engineers. The goal first is to build something that can capture digital ID or it's called an ID from a drone, and then use that digital ID from the drone and then reverse engineer the data, algorithmic data set that's inside of that drone, and then send that data back to my cloud server, analyze it, and figure out exactly what's happening. Like, with no malicious intent. I'm not going to tamper with anything. I just want to see what's up there. And I think that if you're going to fly stuff over my head, then I have a right to know exactly what it is. So April 8th in Philadelphia, April 13th. I pinned it also in my comments if you want to check it out. And the reason why the goal is that amount.
I did as well, by the way.
Okay, cool. So 2, Make Heaven Crowded events in 7 days. We are deploying custom-built surveillance detection technology to expose exactly what we believe to be happening to attendees. Then we will release a documentary-style film exposing our journey, pitfalls, findings, everything on film for the audience to see. What we are building, the Ghost Protocol Detection app. We are developing a mobile application that transforms your phone. I'm going to try to do it on a phone. There's a high likelihood that I can build it on an Android phone, build it for an Android phone deployment. But there's going to be other things that are needed to go with that. So go ahead.
And the cool thing is, we're trying to get this done. If we can end up doing it on a phone platform in like an app form, we want to be able to roll this out to everybody. We want to roll it out to you guys as well. Yeah, exactly. Our plan is to be able to give this tech to you so that you guys can be our eyes and ears. You guys can go out there as well to all these events, and it not just to Make Heaven Crowded Tour, but any Turning Point event. Matter of fact, any event.
Anywhere,
it's not just Turning Point. Anywhere.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl. Anywhere.
Yes.
And you can know who's over your head, taking pictures of you, taking your data, and that's what we're doing here. This is a huge. I'm so stoked for this. But good.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone said let's do it open source. I have to decide if that's what I want to do. This is proprietary technology. I'm not sure if I'd want. I mean, it'd probably be. But the thing is, I have to figure out if I want to make that open source, because then I'm exposing the very technology we're fighting against with the technology we're fighting with, and then they could easily just take that source code and then reverse it, so that they can't be detected again. So we'd have to just constantly rebuild. So it doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to make it open source. But
yeah, I agree with that.
The donors that get a receipt, if you donate, will have first access. So all you would have to do is email us once we verify that it's finished and working. Basically, the donors would be able to get access just showing a receipt in an email, and we'll be able to send it to you to test and use and take wherever with you that you'd like. The idea would be to get it on a phone. So that's likely what I'll be doing. So the Ghost Protocol detection app, building a mobile application that transforms your phone into a military-grade surveillance detector. And first, to give you a little background on who I am and the coding that I do, I build artificial intelligence algorithms for various applications for the Department of Defense military contractors. So I have already experience building high-level security infrastructure using artificial intelligence and algorithmic flows for various things. I can't really say what, but this isn't out of the realm of what I can do. It's just going to take more than a computer because there's other hardware that needs to be purchased. The tool is designed to uncover the invisible digital net cast over these events. So an IMSI catcher detection exposes fake cell towers or stingrays, harvesting your phone data, call records, text messages, and location, geofencing analysis. And by the way, this is very cheap. Honestly, when I first put together the quote, it was 100,000 minimum. But I figured since I'll be the only one building it and everything, I figured we'll just start with a small goal. And then if we make some significant progress, then we want to do more, then maybe we can do more. But I figured we'll start with this and get at least one event underway, and then maybe even raise money to hold an event, get everybody together. I think that'd be very cool too. But geofencing.
Oh, definitely. I actually, like I was saying, or like you were saying, that depending upon how much we raise, like if we raise a significant amount here, then we can do more events. Yeah, we would like to be able to, because the more events we have, the more data points that we get as far as testing, and also more chances to expose them. So we're definitely, the more the merrier, but we're definitely committed to at least those 2 events, if not more.
Crystal, what is this? You got to watch back and go and watch if you don't know what it is, Crystal. All right. So maps the invisible. I'll tell you what we're doing. We're building a detection application that you can carry with on your phone, okay, that you'll be able to use to detect if people are tracking and tracing you in any means, okay? So we already covered the IMSI catcher, which detects stingrays. Anybody that's harvesting your phone data, your call records, text messages, and location. Geofencing analysis. There's geofencing and then there's geomapping. So be able to analyze digital.
Do we know off the bat which Turning Point does, or whether they do both yet, or no? Or is that something we're going to have to figure out as we go?
Show Faith. So from my research, it's Show Faith by Works and various other entities. I think there's 2 more. They do what's called geofencing, and maybe TPUSA is involved in that as well. But
through
geofencing,
Superfeed, yeah,
through Superfeed. So what they do is they put a map around a certain location, and then anybody that goes in that location gets collected, right? Gets connected to their server, their system, their cloud server. And then that is called geofencing. And then geomapping would be using the data from geofencing. To my understanding, I have to do more research just in case I misspeak, but you can take that data from being geofenced and then geomap anybody that to and from there, right? So mapping is literally like, think about Google Maps, right? Where you could be in a car and then you could drive to and from a place, and then it tracks you the whole way. That's mapping. That's geomapping. So you would essentially, the idea would be to geofence a location and then harvest that data and then geomap everybody else on their way back home. And then you could actually use the data. Say you have something implemented into your phone. What they do is they actually buy and sell data in between other apps. So they'll find out what apps you have on your phone, and then they'll go to those companies and they'll buy data from the applications that are harvesting data already from your phone that you're using, like Play Store, Apple Store, YouTube, all of that. And then whoever's selling data, they'll go and buy it, and they'll find specific targets. So that kind of all works as a network. And then essentially we'll map invisible and digital boundaries used to track attendee movement and identities.
Hold on a second. I wasn't done there.
Go ahead.
What we're building, though, that will be able to detect whether somebody is trying to geofence you, correct?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
full protection surveillance system around you so that you know if anything like that's happening. And then the idea would be to completely, instead of using like a Faraday cage on your phone, to actually maybe even the next step after building something like this would be able to deploy something that sends out a signal that scrambles that. So that's important to also note, right? So that's the goal. The end game would be to scramble these remote ID broadcasters.
But that's important. Like the first step is just knowing how all the different ways you're being tracked, and that, you know, that's what we're building. We're building this thing, and it's going to give you guys the tools, hopefully, to be able to, you know, to detect that, to tell who's taking your data, who's trying to use you, because like you are the data, and that's valuable, and people are using your data, and you don't know how they're using it. So it's definitely important to know who's getting your data and how, and we'll be able to show you how.
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal starts with raising enough money to be able to provide the tools to do so. Also, it would be able to network monitor, so identify the why I have this is because I've already started working on at least the scaffolding, or like imagine a house when you put up like, say I basically built the, I haven't really built the scaffolding even, I've just laid the foundation. So say I flattened the earth where a house would be built. That's kind of what I've done if you think about it for code. And then I gathered all my materials and they're sitting outside of the house, right? So that's why I have all of this, is because this came straight from my coding system in order to tell me like what I should write on, what I should give to him to put on this site. So network monitoring, we ideally would be able to identify data interception, connection hijacking, and any SSL stripping attacks in real time. And then there's drone surveillance, decoding aerial remote ID broadcasts to reveal operator locations, flight patterns, and camera activation. This is my favorite part about it. And what's great is that you don't even need a drone to do so, because you just don't need a drone. You could just use the network that the drone is broadcasting from, and then you'd be able to capture that network. RF spectrum analysis detects command signals to identify AI-controlled swarm patterns versus manual piloting, and real-time logging, captures evidence to encrypted servers. So like I said before, sending the data back to an encrypted server where I can analyze the data and run my algorithms in order to analyze exactly what's being done. And it could be a variety of things. It could be many different things. And it might be multiple different entities, right? So the plan is that thanks to Project Constitution, travel across the country. This is so funny how it sounds, but it's true. Traveling cross country with cameras, gear, and detection equipment to find hard proof for our research. Our investigations suggest that Turning Point USA, under various entities as well, is functioning, and Show Faith by Works, is functioning as a massive CIA-style surveillance apparatus. We believe they are using geofencing, data interceptors, and drones to map physical characteristics, gait, ears, facial structure, to build biometric profiles in every attendee. This data is allegedly being used to spy on, analyze, and target individuals with custom-tailored propaganda while being shared with, I mean, it's not even like alleged. It's like they are involved with these companies that are working with FARA.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's crazy.
This is all confirmed stuff here, man.
Yeah, tailored propaganda while being shared with the U.S. government through the Sky Foundry Act to create a mass database of conservatives. The operation, we will go undercover. It'll be hard for me and you to go undercover. Maybe not. I'm not as famous as you.
There's a lot of me to be undercover, bro.
Yeah. We will go undercover for 7 days straight, hitting at least 2. Yeah, being covert is important too. Like, think like blacked out, Jeep Cherokee or something like that. No, I don't know. Just hitting at least 2 major events. We will document the deployment.
I'll wear a wig. I'll dress up like a old grandma or something. Like with the shawl and the little knitting thing.
Oh man. So capture the data, analyze the findings, and release the documentary film to the world. So yeah, we were talking about whether we were going to do one film or a series, but we'll probably do a bunch of individual clips and videos and like, shorts and stuff, but then one ultimate documentary at the end of it. And then we'll edit it and record it all as well.
Yeah, what we're planning to do, obviously, for the people that donate, we're definitely going to be giving updates along the way, video updates and everything, clips, updates. But yeah, we're definitely going to do like a professional long form documentary, which kind of walking you through everything from beginning of the process till the end, everything we had in between. So
yeah, absolutely. And to do this faster, I'll be using AI to help me build some of the code in order to get this built as fast as possible. There's lots of great tools out there today that help with that. So already building AI systems myself, I understand how they work really well. So I'm able to use that to our advantage, which will help expedite the process. But there is a reality check here. This is experimental. We don't know what we'll find. The app might detect a full-scale surveillance operation. It might detect nothing. Technology can also fail in any conditions, in field conditions, and targets can adapt. But nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is building the tools to expose it, or at least publicly. And the budget breakdown is $20,000 total, conservatively. So anything more, or whatever there is, I think we need at least we need to get close to that in order to fully get what we need, because it's not just hotel accommodations or travel or logistics or tickets, but it's also the tech infrastructure, because I would need RF receivers, analyzers for spectrum, ruggedized mobile monitors, and I will be deploying this first probably from my Alienware laptop, which I have a high-powered coding computer, like one of those you see in the movies with the lines. It's kind of crazy when you see it all. A long time ago when I saw that stuff, I was like, man, I wish I could do that. And now I do, and it's pretty cool. Server infrastructure, so I would need an encrypted backend, which I can build. But in order to get a really solid, not just like an AWS, like a triple layer security system, like the last one that I've been working on for this contract that I'm working with, basically has 13 layers of security through what's called CMMC SOC2 level security, which is like security level 2, like secret 2 compliant security measures. So that is the goal, is like military grade encryption security.
Clancy 88, best place to donate. If you go into either one of our channels, it's pinned at the very top of the chat in the live feed.
Yeah, on the chat right here in the live chat. And then it's Spot Fund. So you should, I don't know what the name of it is. It's under Project Constitution's name. It's a collaboration. And I think it's called Exposing Fundraising. If you just type in Project Constitution on spotfund.com, you should be able to also find it. So this kind of breaks down everything.
I'll drop it in the chat here again for you guys as well.
Yeah. And then if you email me, I have a PO box that you can send to as well. I saw somebody was asking about a PO. Yeah.
If you don't want to use that, obviously you can also send money directly to our pay apps, which you can find on his description, my description.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are many options. Gotcha. I mean, there are many options, but like the main one that we're using for this is going to be this. That way, it's easily trackable. It's easy to manage people that donate. It's easy to give updates, rather than trying to do things individually. You know.
And this is separate from the website that I built, by the way. This is completely separate. The website I built is for documenting financial, like documenting nonprofit and FARA-related entities within the United States doing activity that should be looked into at the very least. So that is separate from this, right? This site, afmpt.org, is different, right? These are very different companies, different sites. This isn't even a company. This is just a website. the site that we're using for the donations to try to raise money in order to build everything, do the traveling. We need an additional camera setup. I have some audio gear that we'll be able to use, but again, the whole point is to do this for everybody, right? And but yeah, anyways, why this amount? 2 major events in 5 days require serious operational capacity. We are not cutting corners. Professional grade detection, equipment costs, real money, and secure infrastructure is not free. There's also a $2,000 buffer. If Philadelphia reveals something major, we have the resources to immediately expand coverage at Virginia Beach. So the more the better. And then also, we plan on doing transparency, it says at the bottom. What you get, any donation, free lifetime access to the Ghost Protocol app when released. Commercial value, I would say, is probably a licensing fee of $500, $200 to $500 depending on. $50 behind the scenes documentary footage and field updates. $100 beta app access and raw surveillance data logs from both events. So all of this, like the whole experience, will be on YouTube, but there will be like special videos and conversations. Like we're going to be hanging out in the hotel or going out to dinner and meeting with people. We'll probably have some secret recordings and stuff that might go behind a paywall. But if you donate, it will go up on something in the near future. I'm going to probably build a separate site as well. Either that, I've been trying to decide. Maybe we just put it on AFNPT. I'm not sure. We haven't figured that out yet. But we just wanted to see what would happen. We do see people have already started donating. And since this has been up, I don't know if anybody else has as well. And then you also will get executive producer credit. And then if you wanted to have any type of AI consultation, the highest donors will be able to get, reasonably, we'll figure out how that works. But if you wanted to have a consultation on developing and using AI tools and stuff like that, or learn about the software, I can help with that. These people would get that access. And then all of the
that
above,
alone, but without without even the cause, without considering what, the good cause it's going for, that alone is worth its weight in gold, because you guys have no idea. I've worked with Danks behind the scenes here. This man is a genius. Like, he is so smart. He's a whiz when it comes to technology, when it comes to coding. Like, he is so good, and he's definitely up to the latest AI tools and everything. He knows about it. He knows what the market's going to do. I mean, he knows it all, man. So that alone is worth it. So it definitely. And also, like, if you guys know any big whale donors, anybody who wants to donate the $500 or $1,000 or whatever or more, send them our way. Send them, have them DM us, have them email us, because we definitely are looking for investors to help us out with this, because this is a big project and we have a short window of time to get it accomplished. So we definitely need some heavy hitter donors for sure.
and like this doesn't have to be limited to just this, right? If there's somebody that that's out there like, hey, I want to invest $500,000 and make a company out of this, like, I'm all for it. We're here. I do this for a living. Like, I do contracts, I do YouTube, I do various other things. I'm a partner in another company with another influencer that's being rolled out here soon. We have one of our last meetings tomorrow. So there's a lot of things that I do, and so if somebody wants to get involved at a higher level and start either 5 million, I mean, whatever the vision is, we can make it happen. I can do anything, like I said. So transparency guaranteed is what we're promising. We will publish full expense reporting after the operation, including receipts for every purchase, video documentation of the deployment. If we raise more than needed, excess funds will go into additional event coverage. Or will be refunded, but I have a feeling we'll probably do like a donor poll, and then take that poll. And what I would like to do is find out exactly where the next step would want to be for people that donated. That would be ideal. So there's a timeline here. Now through March 31st is fundraising and app development. I think if we cross the $5,000 mark, maybe not. I mean, I'm willing to start building as soon as like this week. If I see donations start rolling in, the more that happens, the more motivation that I get, right? I think everybody works that way. I can't afford to build something like this on my own. So if I see the money is there, then obviously I'm going to want to take advantage of it and use that money to build and buy the tools needed. And then starting April 1st through 7th, the travel, right? I would fly. I have to fly. He can drive, but I would have to fly from California. And then 8th is the first event for the event. But I would like to show up at least a few days in advance, get with him, stay in a hotel. So there's coverage there, right? Testing, and even deploy maybe even find a location that I know for sure is deploying these types of systems and test it. And I'll do that before I leave as well. And then there's a whole timeline here you guys can check out. And then the idea would be to release something by May or early summer. And then why this matters. If they are running surveillance at revival events, Americans deserve to know. If data is being harvested from attendees, you deserve proof. If drones are mapping crowds and tracking individuals, you deserve to see the evidence. 1 second. Check the private chat, bro. All right. We're building the technology, making the trip, documenting everything, releasing it all. No corporate funding, no compromises, just receipts. Donate now, get the help, see the truth. And so we've already got a few donors here. I wonder if I refresh. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, there's been some very generous people already. We've got 4 donors, 20/20, 50/50. So we'll promote it. You sharing it and promoting it, showing this live stream and showing my past live streams, his past live streams, you'll be able to see really what we've been looking at, you know, and I think it's important that it is found out. I love the freeze frame we're on. You're like, your camera, bro. We need also, can we raise like $150 to get this dude a new camera?
Yeah, it's not the camera. It has to do with my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on with it, man. Something's messed up. Something's wonky for sure.
It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, we probably could cover a little bit more and go another 30 about, go a little bit deeper if you want to as well, because, well, we've covered pretty much everything that we were going to cover in this live stream. Really, it's the FARA, these 12, 13 entities that are working with religious organizations across the country, that have taken in over $150 million as a pipeline straight from our favorite ally, and using that data to capture Americans' attention, using algorithmic, you know, if they want to play that game, dude, we got to play it back, right? So that's really what it is. It comes down to that. Citizen journalism is where it's at. And obviously Fox News is not going to do any of this mess. So it's kind of up to us. I think maybe we could hop into super chats. There's a few of them, not overwhelming, which is fine. Take our sweet time and converse and chat. Did you have anything before? Did you want to jump into anything else before?
No, I think that's pretty much it. You know, I'm definitely stoked for this. I think it's going to be a net positive. We you know, we can create something. Not only am I psyched for the documentary portion of it, because there hasn't been a Charlie Kirk documentary doing anything into this investigation that's really been professional yet. It's been like, you know, Netflix style, and that's kind of what we're going to go with here. That's what we're trying to do. And
if you think about like Ryan Matta, he's done documentaries and stuff. He's put a lot of, think about something like that, right? Just in our way, in our vision.
And also, and the tech, I'm also super excited about the tech, because that, you know, we can create a tool that, you know, one, if this works, we can prove everything we're saying. Like, that's huge to be able to do that. But also, this tool will allow us to be able to roll this out to hopefully to everybody. That way, everybody can have that tool. Everybody can be able to, you know, you put the power in your hand, pretty much, your cell phone, the power in your hand to tell who is tracking you and how they're tracking you. I mean, that's huge, especially right now, because everybody is surveilling you. Everybody is watching you. Every time you're turning around, your data is being used. Your data is being stolen from you. It's being siphoned. You're on camera 24/7 everywhere you go. There's drones above you a lot of times. We're going to give you guys the tools to be able to combat that. And that is, to me, that's awesome. And yes, like he was saying, if there's investors that want to, turn this into a company, great. I hope there is, because this is a major, there's a major need for it. It's a major tool, and there's a great need for it, because you have all these people that are trying to capitalize on the surveillance, capitalize on big data, but we don't have that many tools that are actively trying to fight against it. And that's where we come in.
Ambitious Hustle says, I'm starting a consulting company. One sector is solely focusing on corrupt churches and charities. Get in touch with us. That'd be great. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we can. That'll be, honestly, if this goes planned, and we can, we prove the technology and everything, and we prove TPUSA is doing it, then the next step will 100% will be going to the churches, especially like the Calvary chapels for one, and a bunch of other ones as well. But because the church, like we know for a fact from the FAR documents, we know for a fact that Israel is targeting these Christian churches, especially on the West Coast, with big data. They're running these geofencing campaigns on these churches, stealing everybody's data. That way they can push their propaganda out to you. So it's important to know which, if you want to know whether your church is doing that or not. And I think that, yeah, definitely get in touch with us, because that's our next thing to do. After we test it and try it out on Turning Point.
Yeah. I just removed somebody that was causing issues in the chat. We have some, I thought we had some mods, but maybe not. Anyways, I took care of it. So yeah, that's important. And the technology, imagine if we can all pitch in a little bit to be able to build something that protects everyone. That's what we're talking about here. And at the very least, understanding, right? And it can be a tool to use in any place. If you're going somewhere, we're already being tracked, right, from stuff on our phone. But the fact that where you're going, it's getting to a point to now where we need something like this. Okay, we need something like this. It's important. It's important to me. It's important as an American. We deserve the right to roam freely without being monitored. That is a surveillance state. Whether you like it or not, that's where we're at. So it's time to start pushing back a little bit.
Yeah, we have a Fourth Amendment for a reason. We have a right to our privacy for a reason. And the more they keep pushing this technology out, the more they keep doing this convenience over privacy, we're slowly losing our rights, and we definitely need to fight back against that for sure. This is a good question here. Will this work in the UK? I'm assuming that it probably would. Correct? It would work anywhere, right?
QQQ. Well, QQQ is a technology firm. If you're talking about that, they're an investment company. Yeah, so QQQ is actually the company that Charlie Kirk invested in with XXX leverage. I'm in finance too.
I have no clue about any of that.
Yeah, it's a technology firm that's basically heavily weighted towards technology and growth-oriented companies. So they're a fund, right? So if I were to go to QQQ Yahoo Finance, you could see to my stage here, if I added it, you could see Invesco. It's called Invesco, right? Let's see if I can find it. Invesco QQQ chart, maybe. Where is it at? Yahoo Finance. Here we go. QQQ chart. So they're one of the
NASDAQ
largest
100
growing.
index, he said.
Yeah, so they are a massive fund, and I think they give derivatives as well. Like they might give or it might not. I think it's not a derivative. It's one of the only funds that I invested in that's not a derivative. I invest in funds. I prefer those over individual stocks myself because of just the. Anyways, yes, it would be able to work wherever you're at in the world. Absolutely. But yeah, if you were talking about this, I was just kind of wondering if that's what you meant. So if you look at the all-time chart, you could see it's almost like Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at this, that this is a technology fund, right? And growth technology. So it's capped out. The technology sector is really has expanded. So you never know. Oh, we got it. Ivan says he just donated.
Because that's where we're going, man. You know, surveillance state. That's what all this tech leads to. More surveillance. That, you know, it's all about control and surveillance, and the tech sector is the ones pushing it.
Nice, bro. Ivan, you're the man, dude. I'm excited, man. Yeah, we can share this. You know,
thank you so much, Ivan. Thank you, all you guys who have donated. Thank you for all you guys giving super chats as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you know, I will say this: like, this is going to be an interesting experience because some of these tools I've never used before, like RF scanners and stuff like that. But I do have a radio frequency guy that I met at jiu-jitsu recently. Today, I was talking to him about what I want to do. And he happens to have worked for the military and currently is an independent contractor doing RF radio frequency development. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, man. And I will say, if there's any issues, again, everything is transparent. I get nervous because you got, you know, two people here when there's money involved, but we are going to be transparent and show everything, all the receipts, all the purchases, and we're not going to pull any money out until we need it. So my goal is to literally show the receipts on the developing tools. I usually spend a certain amount of money on tools, the AI software that I'll be using to help expedite the process, and then all of the other things too. And if we get to a certain point and I'm like, dude, I don't know if this is going to work, or if it doesn't, then we'll have to figure it out from there. But if I've never actually met a situation that I haven't been able to do. I've never actually failed at developing something. So when I have ambition,
it is a big goal, but at the same time, I think we can reach it. And if we don't, you know, we'll talk about it. Obviously, the people we donated, we'll get with them and we'll figure out what we want to do with that.
Either way, though, I don't see that being an issue. I believe that we would be able to at least get the product developed and be able to detect multiple different things. Julie, this is the one that was in my members only yesterday giving me shit. She said I was giving her shit. I wasn't giving her shit. Because I was talking about the Farah stuff. I don't know if she's trolling me or what, dude. But I was talking about the Farah stuff, and then she was saying, don't go down this rabbit hole or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, you don't want to know like what's happening with the money that's being donated by Americans and then taken and paying foreign agents to basically change the way that your kids think and that you consume information. To me, it's just crazy. I don't know. She wants to have a debate, but I don't think I can entertain that. People like to argue about things, you know. Truth is this. Truth is that it's all right here in the documents, right? If you want to know the truth, go look at the documents.
Yep.
So anyways.
I guess we could start super chats then.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a few here. Again, we do have the super sticker from Steve Steins. Keats again showing up. Love the new website, Danks. $5. Keep up the good work, team. We need the pressure.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
All right, and then we got one from A Lady 7473, $2 super chat. Hi, Danks and PC. Was EK cut from Charlie's Royal? I've heard that.
I don't know.
I have not been able to confirm that. I have heard that rumor as well, but as of now, it's just a rumor. I have not been able to confirm that. So we will see. Sorry, I can't give you a more definitive answer.
Yeah, that's tough to know without inside information.
Definitely.
Danks, $10 from Edge I8V. $10 super chat. Danks, first super chat to you here from Baron. Thank you. Love your work. Uh-oh, what happened? Love your work, but how do we get the IRS authorities to pounce on TPUSA? How do they not see this? They need an ice water enema. You can file this. If you go to, let me see. Let me think for a second. I have this here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can't pull the, in one of my, here, let me find it. What is the, I think it's the IRS. It's either the IRS or the DOJ. What is the IRS? DOJ form for complaint for nonprofit alleged fraud. I think I can get the link for you if you want to complain. I think there's a $30,000 or like 30% reward. I started filling it out the other day and I got busy. I forgot, but there's lots of things to file for. I was watching, what's the dude's name? I was watching Asmongold. I was watching him this morning, and it was so cool to hear. Not cool, but it was so interesting to hear him say, he's like, there was people in his chat and they were saying, how do we so what if the Minnesota people are taking a couple of cars or whatever? He's like, bro, it's not just that. That's like the tip of the iceberg. There's fraud in every single part of our business society, not just in Minnesota, not just with Somalis. There's fraud in welfare fraud. There's healthcare fraud. There's insurance fraud. There's sales fraud. There's crypto fraud. There's freaking fraud. There's Domino's pizza fraud. There's fraud. You know what I mean? Fraud is not biased. All right. It's not physically biased. It's not emotionally biased. It doesn't care where you live, what country. There's fraud in every country, every faction of every business. There's always, in every business, there's some type of, I don't want to say that for a fact, but in most businesses, I'd say at least 50%, some version of fraud has taken place. And you can find out and report it if you find out. So here, there's I'm going to put this. There's these two links right here. This is a charity, and actually, I'll just put the one here. This right here. I put it in both of our chats, and then if you just see, I just posted a comment. It says it's an IRS form for charities and nonprofits, IRS complaint process, tax exempt organizations. They use a drone. So yeah, you can check that out. So thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I don't know other than that what can be done, because obviously this is a part of our story. Scott Bessent is literally protecting them from fraud, from alleged fraud, from what I think is fraud. He's literally sent the letter saying, hey, we are not investigating you, and you are not under any type of, don't need to worry, basically, which is kind of crazy that you would get a 24-hour turnaround like that.
Yeah, that shows collusion, that they're all in bed together, man. They're all protecting each other. That's all it is. And that's why they're not investigating, the Egyptian hit squad against, that came out against Candace Owens. That's why they're not investigating Charlie Kirk properly. That's why they're not investigating the fraud going on at TPUSA. That's why they're not doing anything, because they're all in bed together.
Yeah, Diligent Denizen. I think you even put one up as well. I can't find the full. Do you have the letter? Let me see. IRS letter, Scott Bessent, TPUSA, Erica Kirk. I think I can find it. Let me see.
That's one of the things that we pointed out, though, is Erica penned it on one day, and then the very next day, Scott Bessent, the letter from Scott Bessent is dated the very next day. Like how did she write a letter, send it through the mail, and by the way, send it to the mail to the IRS or whatever, and then it make its way all the way from the IRS to another agency, which is the Treasury, where Scott Bassett is, and then make it all the way up to the chain of command to where Scott Bassett is, and then for him to pen a letter and then send it back in one day. There's no way, unless it's collusion, unless they were all doing it together. They all colluded together and were at the same table doing it. And by the way, the one thing I haven't confirmed this yet. I actually forgot about it until now. It just got reminded. But I was actually told that Trump, Scott Bassett, and Erica Kirk were all in New York on that same day. It was either one of the 2 days that letter was written. They were all in New York on that same day. So boom, that explains it right there.
Yeah, I want to find, I think it's in this video. Let me see. I think it's right here. Just so, in case somebody hasn't seen it.
While you're reading that, I'll go ahead and finish this here. Ivan sent us a 99-cent.
Oh no, he's a mod, so he's saying.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yeah.
If I post this video,
okay. Well, thank you, Ivan.
You'll likely sue me and try to destroy my life.
He's saying like, hey, follow, join the membership.
I have a
etc.
Gotcha.
Here it is. Here it is. So this right here.
Second,
I'll just play this little part.
And
right
it's
here.
not.
So it's really hard to say that anything can be done when you have this going on right here.
Coming from the IRS, the letters ever received a letter from the IRS.
Right.
5. 3. The next year's forms will be filed by May 15th, 2026. The letter is signed. It says it is quite shocking. Saying he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking. It is a 2-page letter on Department of the Treasury letterhead. It says it is responding to a request from Erica Kirk. It says, 1. There is no IRS investigation currently underway on Turning Point. 2. All 4 990 forms were filed by May 15th, 2025. 3. The next year's forms will be filed by May 15th, 2026. The letter is signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett. Paramount Tactical is presenting this letter as some kind of evidence that there is no fraud at Turning Point. That is ridiculous for a number of reasons. We all know this because all of us deal with the IRS. We all know this is not normal.
I love his snarkiness. I absolutely love his humor, man. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I like it too.
Any of you ever received a letter from the IRS saying, just letting you know, we're not doing an investigation on you? No, of course you have not, because the IRS does not do this. And it's not coming from the IRS. The letter is signed by the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bassett. To me, this looks more like a political favor to Donald Trump's personal friends than a legitimate IRS.
Yes, the app will work. Yeah, the idea would be that it will be able to work on any phone. So it's not, I'll have to look into, I'm glad that people have asked that because I'll make sure that it's not SIM related, like local related to where I'm building it. Because that could be a thing, right? So I'll make sure that it is globally available. Absolutely. Yeah. Good questions, though.
IRS communication. Second, the wording in this letter does not mean anything.
So this is really the point of me showing this. And you have to understand this for sure. By the way, this live stream is going to go into members only after 72 hours. I just want to put some wall behind it. I encourage Project Constitution to do the same. Maybe not. Maybe you should. I don't know. I don't know.
Mine will stay up. You'll always be able to see my live streams on my channel, guys.
Yeah, if I do live streams with him, actually, I can't make it that way. So if he's keeping it up, then I'll keep it up as well. Some of the other, the reason why I do that is because some of the things that I say and do, like this one's not so bad actually, but I was going to say maybe because of everything, but because this has the fundraiser in it, I'd rather keep it public. But I have made some grand allegations in my past live streams. That's why I do the 99-cent thing. But this form, it really shows this is the answer to the question is like, how can we do anything with this form out? You know what I mean? I don't I'm trying to answer the super chat and say like, what would you, who would we talk to? You know what I mean? Like the Department of Treasury is literally saying.
The only thing you can do, I mean, it's good to document it. That way there is, that way if the next administration gets in there and wants to do something about it, like if by some chance the Democrats take over again or whatever, and they want to go and investigate it, and by the way, I will never vote for the Democrats, but regardless, if they get in there and they vote, then they may want to. What I'm saying is, at least it'll be documented. At least it'll be in there and documented, which will create a blueprint, a thumbprint to let people know that, hey, this was reported and nobody did anything about it. And also, hey, this is reported, maybe we should look into it. So you get two different things there. But as far as trying to get them to do anything during this administration, not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So for now, we just have to wait and see. You want to read this one? Oops, cut him out.
All right, so we got a $49.99 super chat from Annie Marie Tipton. Keep up the good fight, guys. Thank you to you guys, Baron, Candace, and Ian. Thanks to you guys, Baron, Candace, and Ian. You break it down for us to better understand what's going on. I really think their goal is to confuse us just enough till we give up on looking into it. Thanks for doing the hard work.
Thank you for the message.
Thank you so much for the super chat. And as far as what you're saying here, they do. They want to confuse you. They also want to shout you down. One of the tactics they use is they use these bots, and they use the rhetoric of keep repeating things to try to make you feel crazy, to make you give up, to make you feel like it's not worth it to go down that path, or it's not worth it to speak out what you believe in. But it's so important to always use your voice. Your voice matters. And the more people that aren't afraid to use their voice and speak out on what they believe in, the more power we have. Because we the people have a lot of power collectively, but it's only when we are together, and that's why they always try to divide us. If we stay together, and the more people speak out, then that gives more people the confidence to say, other people will start. The more people speak out, we'll start a chain reaction to where other people start to speak out, and then we could actually maybe change something and fix this. But the only way we're going to be able to fix this is if we all do it collectively. So that's what my point there. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can only do so much, and I will continue to scream at the top of my lungs and make more and more content. I'm literally just getting started here on social media. Sorry, I didn't mean to push that off. I added this new like and subscribe thing. I was trying to just put it up on the screen, but that's cool. It's huge. All right. Anyways, like and subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, we will continue. I'm glad that I saw Ian and even Baron covering some of the Eggstein files, which I do imagine. I do have another site actually. It doesn't have the new the Eggstein files on it yet, but it's called EpsteinExposed.org. So I built this to give you a little taste of stuff that I can do. I built this site, and it's a node of connections from the whole world of this person. And then it has, Ghislaine Maxwell, entities, locations, the individual himself, and then it shows all the connections. And then you can click a second location, and then it'll bring open an AI agent that you can talk to and analyze all of the previous records before the 3 million files came out. The reason why I haven't fully built this out yet is because I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to fit 3 million files into my database. But you can literally have a conversation and then go and view sourcing. pull up in the records and look at the actual files and stuff like that. I haven't worked on it since probably the holidays, so some pages might not work, but I do want to actually work on a little bit more. But this is another cool tool that I've built. So yeah, I mean, I am looking, like, when I start saying, like, think about all the things that I could possibly be doing. It's hard to stay up to do certain things, stay up to date with certain things, but most of this actually works pretty well. I think this is so cool how it is. I love this. Anyways, yeah. That being said,
yeah, it's definitely cool, bro. And like I said, this man's a genius. Like he knows what he's like. You have no idea how good he is on this stuff.
Yeah, you can. There's also, like, if you go up here and you click search entities, you could type in like Bill Clinton, and then it should pull up. Yeah, Bill Clinton, and then it'll pull up an AI agent, and then it'll talk about the previous files. I wish I shouldn't even have brought it open, but whatever. I wanted to show you guys. It'll talk to you and analyze the intelligence within the Eggstein files on Bill Clinton, or any, like, the Black Book redacted. And it'll take you to certain page. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll actually route it to the page, and then I'll just have my AI agent crawl all 3 million documents. I have to update this site. It's way out of date, but yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff that we could do. So if you want to get involved and be a part of it, if there's anybody like vibe coders out there and you want to join my Patreon, it's $5. Patreon.com/originaldangster. And maybe someone could help. I'll give access to the source code and we can work on this, because this is definitely a project I want to develop more out. Anyways.
Very good. We have Noble Price 8488 with a $10 super chat. Section 230 is under attack if they vote to sunset it. All citizen journalism will become muzzled and nearly impossible to disseminate. It is a backdoor attack on the First Amendment. You got any thoughts on that, buddy?
Well, I'm looking to see if this is true. It says, yeah, Section 230
is the Section 230 is, I think that's the immunity that all the social media platforms have. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it says Section 230 is currently facing significant attacks on multiple fronts, ranging from federal legislative pushes to aggressive new legal strategies in the courts. Legislative ticking time bomb. Congress is actively moving to end Section 230 entirely to force a rewrite of the law. The Sunset Reform Section 230 Act was introduced in 2025 with the goal of making Section 230 expire at the end of this year. This effort, led senators like Lindsey Graham and Dick Durbin, aims to use the sunset as a mechanism to force platforms and lawmakers to negotiate a long-term solution that balances innovation with accountability. The Take It Down Act, signed into law in May of last year, this act has already weakened by criminalizing the posting of non-consensual intimate images, legal workarounds in court, AI challenges. I don't think you're talking about censoring free speech. I don't know. I have to look into more into that.
I'd have to look into it more myself. My thing is, I think that I'm definitely not for anybody censoring our free speech whatsoever. And I definitely see what you're saying, that they're using that as a mechanism to attack our free speech for sure. Absolutely. And we cannot let that happen. However, at the same time, I do think that these social media companies need to be held accountable for a lot of the things that they are doing, because there are many things that they are allowing people to do that they're just getting they are blatantly allowing to happen, and they should be liable for it. I mean, things like I've gone through, like with my ex-partner and stuff, which I'm not going to really get into it, but like I've gone through some shit, man, especially when it comes to like stalking and everything. So you definitely, there's things that they need to be held accountable for, but I absolutely do not support them using it as a backdoor to trample on our free speech. Not at all.
Yeah, for sure. I would hate to see. I mean, we the thing in Florida. I think we covered it last week. And by the way, we're planning on going live together every Saturday. This has been a great session for us. I forgot to mention that earlier. I think that we're going to try to keep a consistent schedule, Saturday, early afternoons to mid afternoons for him and I to do regular lives. Of course, you'll get our own individual videos and lives that we do separately, but I think we both enjoy working together and we balance well together, and it seems like the audience likes it. So, but make sure you go and follow his channel. I noticed there's only a few people watching over there on his YouTube, so make sure you go give him a follow. Some of our audience needs to go over there if they want to consume his content. His first video did 170,000 views. That's crazy, bro. 10,000. I mean, I've never seen somebody like just come out the gate swinging with 170,000 views.
I mean, I was also an established creator already. Also, like I said, it helps when you have Candace Owens, who was the #1 creator, the #1 podcaster, mention you on her show multiple times. You kind of get a little bit of name recognition right off the bat with that,
That's
so I had a little bit of a advantage, should I say,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I will definitely be posting more videos and doing more live streams. I was sick this week, really sick. So I was down for a couple of days. So, that definitely thwarted my progress. That one day I wasn't even able to open my eyes at all. I didn't even turn my phone on, didn't even turn my computer on at all. So, yeah. But I will be doing more content on the YouTube, so you definitely are going to want to go check that out for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat.
Absolutely. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, before this, though, I do have to say the way that you like amendments are there, like the First Amendment, Second Amendment. I heard Valhalla VFT say it, and it was a really good thing to say. It was either him or JD Delay. They said, these amendments are there for our freedom, and if you don't exercise your rights to these amendments, then they find a reason to take it away. If there's not enough people to push back, if there's not enough people speaking out, if there's not enough people carrying firearms in places that allow them to open carry or get a license to even own a firearm, if you don't have a license, like the more states that have people, like they know who's registered, they know I'm a registered firearm holder, they know which firearms I have. If you don't, even if you can spend $80 on a little on something, a used Glock, go and get a license and buy one so that you're add to the database so they know that's one more person. Obviously, you need to be responsible, but add yourself so that you're exercising your freedoms and your rights, because the less you exercise, the less people there are. If it can, the more people there are on X and YouTube speaking out, you exercising your freedom to speak, your First Amendment, the less likely they are to push back. But as soon as they see a weakness in this field, in the armor, the chinks in the armor, they will take that and they will literally use that against us. And yeah, I mean, they'll take the game completely away from us, so that's what I want to say on that. Exercise your freedoms.
Definitely. I say all the time, rights are like muscles. With muscles, when you exercise and you build your muscles, you have to continue exercising them to keep your muscles. Otherwise, you lose them and they go away. And rights are the same way. If you don't flex your rights, then your rights, you will lose them. People will they'll pass laws, do everything they can to trample on your rights, to chill your free speech, to chill your gun rights. So it's important. It's definitely important to do that. Before this, I actually was in the First Amendment audit space. And, that's one thing that I support big time. You have to be able to, support your right to photograph in public. You have to support the right to carry a firearm. You have to support the right to free speech, to, go in a courthouse with a shirt that says F the draft. these rights are important, and they're not. And that's the thing. It's we have a constitution which mandates the state to protect the rights, but these are God-given rights. These are not rights given to us by the government. These are God-given rights, and we have to remember that. We can never, ever, ever allow the government to try to take away our rights. These are inalienable God-given rights.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for the super chat, Noble. Captain Slick 76 with a $20 banger. You guys are doing amazing. If work, I believe you guys are onto something. Keep up the hard work. All of this needs to be known. We, the publics, deserve the truth. Some people have no clue what they are doing. Most people have no clue what they're doing, unfortunately. Most people don't care because most people go home after working. They're tired. They put something in the microwave. They watch TV or Netflix or YouTube. They doom scroll. They wake up and do it all over again. What's great about us and the lives that we live is every day is different. It might be a little similar, but every day is different. And I get to be creative. I get to do what I want. I encourage everybody to try to get out of working and doing something, starting a business. Like I have multiple businesses that I've started and I've had in the past, and some have failed. Most have failed, actually. And that experience gets you to a place to where you can understand like what you are doing and what is going on around you and how people are, and getting into business with other people teaches you how life really works. And I encourage people to find a way to get out of the grind. I was talking with my wife earlier yesterday. We were having pizza after an appointment we had, and we were talking. She was like, I want to go to Alaska. I'd been all around the world. I was in crypto and I traveled for conventions and made money and all this. And, she had to work, she has a high profile medical job or whatever. And so she was saying, oh, well, I said, well, let's go to Alaska soon. She said, well, I can when I retire. And I was just like, man, dude, like that's not going to happen because I'm going to retire her soon. She might know it, she might not, but she's a show me kind of person, show me state. But yeah, that's the plan. But the thing is, it just sucks that that's just the norm, is like when I retire, what if you never get to retire? Like how sad would that be? You never got to go to Alaska. So I encourage anybody, if you feel like you're stuck in a place, the best thing you can do is start doing what you love, no matter what it is. If it's talking into a mic, get a mic and a camera or something. Start doing whatever, and they make it easy to make music and public on Spotify and stuff. If you make music, put it on there, promote it, go on X, create an account, stir up some drama, and get out there and get your name known, because freedom is not that far out of reach. I used to think people doing things like this was like, oh man, I wish I could do it. That was 5 years ago. I've been making money on the internet for 5 years. I haven't worked. I started playing poker full time over 5 years ago, and I haven't worked full time since then. And you can do it. Don't matter. It's just up to you, So I don't know why I said that on this super chat, but I guess because people don't know what they're doing, and it's true, But I want you to know what you're doing. I want you to know what's going on around you. That's why we're building. That's why we're showing these websites, that we're spending our effort, time, energy, and money to build, right? And that's why this surveillance detection system that we want to build, raising the money for it and building this documentary, it's not about the money. Like if it was about the money, it'd be a very different conversation. It's not, And then what would be interesting is all the donors that donate, maybe we could end up creating a company out of it and then giving shares. I don't know. This is definitely viable. It can definitely be built. I can do it. I will do it. So again, to go back on the technology, we have to know what's going on around us. I want to do that for us. God has given me a mission. I've always told my wife and people around me, I don't really know what that's supposed to be. And I'm starting to see it unfold every single day. And it's because of all of you here and him and Constitution being a part of all of this with me. So, and us. You're frozen again, I think. Oh, no. You just got that face. It was like, I'm liking what you're saying, bro. Thank you for the super chat, Captain Slick. You want to grab this one?
I actually got something to say on that.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I got to get better at that, bro. I know. I was trying to do better at that today.
It's all good. We'll get in the routine, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that, like, people, there's so many people that do not care about anything unless it affects them. And you can't have that mindset. You've got to get out of that mindset. You know, like, people will, like, as long as it, like, they're stuck in the rat race and they're just, you know, I do my thing as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. Well, guess what? Everything affects you. You have no idea how much it affects you. All these laws that people are passing affects you. The way these people are taking your data and using it and selling your data, it affects you. Everything affects you. And by the time that it does affect you, it's too late. It's almost too late to do anything about it. It's going to be a lot harder to try to fix the problem by the time it actually does affect you. So everybody's like, the one thing that really got me thinking that, and it really pissed me off, was the woman in the subway in New York in 2014. I forget her name, and God, I wish I knew her name. I would love to say it. But the woman in the subway that was set on fire by somebody in the subway, by some crazy dude, and I think an immigrant, as a matter of fact, an illegal or whatever. But and there was, like, I noticed there were like so many people standing around. There was even a cop standing there, and everybody was just watching and pointing their phones, and just nobody was helping her. Nobody was putting the flames out. Nobody was trying to help her. And I'm like, that made me so mad. It's like, these people will not get involved. People are just in their own, like, if it doesn't affect them, they don't get involved. And you got to get out of that mentality. One, we're supposed to help each other. We're supposed to, treat your brother, and you're supposed to treat everybody like you would want to be treated yourself. And we're not doing that. We're treating everybody as if they're just like the redheaded stepchild, and like, you don't care about them. And I don't really know where I'm going with that. I'm getting off in the weeds, but what I'm saying is, you have to pay attention, because everything is important. Don't be sheep. Don't think, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they take my data. I don't care if they do that, because it will affect you. And by the time it affects you, then you'll be saying, oh shit, I wish I would have listened to Colin. I wish I would have listened to Danks. And we would have, back when they were saying that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a passion behind it. And I love it, man. And we got to care, not just for other people, but ourselves. If you're feeling like you don't care, then I think you might need to get up and do something, because you're losing value in your own life. When I started getting up and moving, it's so funny. I used to just sit in my house and code or do crypto stuff, and I never went outside. And then I got more in touch with God and my Christianity. And then I stepped outside. It's literally, I stepped outside the first day, and I made the connection for the military contractor that I work with. And I was telling a friend, I said, I think I was telling Jesse, I was like, bro, it's so crazy how I just need to literally go outside and talk to some people, and my life changed. And so go out and make friendships and meet people and do business, man, and figure out something for yourself. Because if you're feeling like you're empty and nothing's valuable, then you're not doing something right. There's more to life than that.
And I tell you one more thing too, is it feel like there's no better feeling. Like, if you are feeling empty and down or like, honestly, help somebody. Go out there. You don't even have, like, if you can give money, great, but you don't even have to give money. Just go out there and help somebody. Go help, somebody, an old lady across the street, an old lady who's at the grocery store and, has a whole cart full of groceries and needs, like, help somebody. you have no idea how good it feels to give back and do something for another person. That is the greatest high that you could get. That's way better than any drug high that I've ever felt in my life. I don't, you've been on things before in yourself, so you probably can you know what I'm talking about here. Like the feeling of giving and doing something righteous is it feels so much better than any drug that I've ever had in my life.
Absolutely. That's the thing is the two things that I did is I went outside, I gave my time and my skill to two very important people in my life at that time, and one has been around still. And my life has dramatically changed because I went out and I helped somebody else, and they didn't expect it, and I didn't expect them to say yes. And both times they gave me life-changing opportunities.
I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick. I was blessed during COVID. I was not blessed at the same time I was blessed. Like when we went into COVID, I had owned my own business. I had coming off of the biggest, $500,000 contract, the biggest contract I had ever had in my life. So I had pockets full of money. I was like well off when I first went into COVID. I mean, obviously COVID wasn't great because I ended up losing my business and going under, and it kind of messed up the next 4 years or so. But that's a whole nother story. But what I'm saying is, like during COVID, I helped people in so many ways. Like during COVID, not only did I volunteer my time to go out and deliver groceries to all the people that were stuck at home quarantining, the elderly people, the children, people that couldn't get out. They weren't allowed to go out because remember, our government told you are not allowed to leave your house. So I was one of, I volunteered and I did that. I helped people out that way. And besides that, I took that money that I had and I helped others, I would go pay it forward to hospital workers. I would pay it forward to the ambulance workers, the police, without them even knowing a lot of times. A lot of times I go up to, there's this one time I remember where I pulled up to the Wawa gas station and there were these two female ambulance drivers or ambulance workers or whatever. And they looked like they were just had a bad day. And they went inside. And when they went inside, I went and I put a big wad of $100 bills in the door handle for them. And I just sat back. I didn't let them know who was me or anything, but I just sat in the back of the parking lot and watched, and just see their faces light up when they saw that. That was amazing. That was such a good feeling.
Wow.
So, I mean, I encourage everybody to definitely go out and give, donate your time, go support your community, whether it be a food kitchen, whether it be donate your time to a church, whether it be just helping somebody cross the road or deliver anything you can do to help somebody financially, whatever, do it, because it is the best feeling you will ever feel in your life. And it will it will absolutely lift you out of any kind of funk you're in, for sure.
For sure. That's a good story. Yeah. I used to be homeless a long time ago. How long ago? 2012 was when I was last homeless. So 14 years ago now. Wow. And so when I think about those days, and then when I see somebody that maybe appears to be homeless, I'm at a gas station and they're asking for money or something, I'll always, if I have cash on me, I'll throw whatever I can. And then, but it doesn't have to be about money, right? A lot of times, just the conversation, because when I remember first day I was homeless, I was so sad. I'm sitting on, it's crazy, first of all, to go from that to my life today. And then the tour.
I've been homeless too. The stigma. I know exactly what you're talking about. The stigma, man, when you're homeless, nobody wants to talk to you. You're like, I stay away from that person.
Yeah, exactly. And why I mention that is because, just literally, instead of rushing to your next destination, just talk to that person. The amount of change that you could do with words, maybe a hug and I love you, or you're good, just something, anything, a conversation can help change someone's entire outlook on life. You never know the impact you can have. We're all connected. So it doesn't have to be about money, right?
I've had people do that to me. I've been homeless before in my life too. I've had people do that to me where they've changed my whole perspective and just made me bawl and crying like a boohoo baby. But them talking to me. So absolutely, you have no idea, how powerful you are. Just even your words talking to somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're people. You must remember, no matter the bottoms or tops, we're all people at the end of the day. We come and go at the same rate, the same style, same way. One thing that friends of I have done before is go to where I know homeless are and go chat with them. If you're scared, you don't have to, but most times they're fine. They're harmless. Like, they'll talk to you, get to bring them something if you want, a sack lunch, anything, a drink, something. Even if it's a beer, sometimes like dude is like fiending for a beer. I know what that's like, man. Fuck, I'll buy him a beer. Screw it. Like, just have a conversation and kick it with them. And like, it might sound weird. And it's like, I don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, we're all people, So it's like, I'm not here to judge anybody. I've been the worst person. I lived the worst life. Trust me. I've lived the worst life. So anything you can give with your time, energy, focus on something else besides yourself is what anything, it will help you. Trust me. It will help you more than it will help them, probably, actually.
It goes back to, how would you want to be treated? You treat people like you treat yourself, so how would you want to be treated? So would you want somebody, you treating a homeless person like that? Would you want to be treated that way? So you got to keep that in mind. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thanks for the super chat. Move to the next one. It's just Zero, the homie. What's up, man? $4.99. Appreciate it. As much as everyone wants to know, don't assume you're not being surveilled. I would not spill the beans and keep your cards close to your chest. Yeah, definitely don't want to be spilling the beans. I don't know if you're talking about what we're doing, but
I think they're talking about what we're doing. Maybe we shouldn't have said what we're doing, but they don't know. Like I said, we're committing to two days for sure. But we have plans to potentially do more events. So
it doesn't matter anyways, because I can build anything, right? And it's not like a one way to do things. You know what I mean? There's like 150 different ways that you could do this. So you would have to understand what's being done. Usually it's in these types of situations when it comes to the military or military type applications, it's you can be as proactive as you can, but typically it's a reaction that you would have to defend against because you don't know what's coming, right? They don't know the level of skill I have. I've literally just sat here and told people on this channel that I barely graduated high school. I was homeless and a heroin addict and whatever, so they probably would underestimate anybody like me anyways, which would be highly ill-advised. But
I second that.
Anyways, but I mean, you've seen the back end, right? So, but yeah, no, I appreciate the super chat, bro. And definitely don't want to underestimate what's being done out here in the streets. Keats. Hey, if you got one from Keats, say thank you. Thanks, Keats. He's been chatting with me on X and stuff. Seems like a really good dude and got himself a family out in the Australian outback. I'd love to visit one day. That'd be dope. Thanks, man.
We have Ace's Crafty Key, $4.99 super sticker. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you for your donation. Then we have a new member. We have Courage D2 became a new member. Thank you for joining the team.
Welcome.
And then we got Ivan again. Ivan is Ivan with a $10 super chat. OG Danks and PC just donated. Thank you very much, bro.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Oh, by the way, on the donations, it looks like we've got a lot of donations from the stream, so we appreciate you guys. We've got 628. Man, it keeps ripping. You guys are awesome,
That's
man.
awesome.
This is we're gonna be able to hit this goal in no time and get cracking on this. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll have to make
Definitely.
some posts probably and figure out best way to market this thing. And the more you guys share it, you see how it says 5 shares, you can click the share button. You can take this whole thing and run it through AI if you want to create a quick post and put it on X. Whatever, this is for us. It's not raising money for me and him. It's raising money for us so we can do the work for everybody to have the tools we need to move about the planet, understanding what's around understanding what's around us ultimately. So far we're already almost 1/20th of the way there. We're 1/40th plus 1/36th. So we're getting there already. That's great. You guys are awesome, man. Big ups.
Yeah, that's a great start for sure. And besides, you're also going to get like an awesome documentary from it. Like, don't you want that? Like, that's awesome. Like, I'm really stoked about that. Like, that is going to be so cool.
It'd be really cool if this thing spreads and, maybe we get to go on different shows, maybe have other people on, maybe even get to interview some other people. And who knows, maybe at the end of it, we figure out all this thing is nothing. And then we could imagine being able to sit down with Erica and Candace at the end. Somehow through all this time, things got better. You never know what could happen over the next year. Right. So I think that we have to be open-minded to what could happen. And I think that at least trying to see what's there is what we should be doing as a community. So thank you for all of your support and trust, to be honest, So
yeah, we have to, we're not just trying to put theories out there, but we also want to test our theories. We try to debunk ourselves. Anything that we come up with, we try to vet ourselves and debunk ourselves to test our theories. And that's basically what we're doing here. And we found like this tool, like I said, we can build this tool, which is not an awesome way to not only do that, but also help everybody else as well. Because like that, having that tool that will be able to show you on your phone in the palm of your hand, whether you're being tracked or not, whether your data is being stolen from anywhere. I mean, it's just, that is going to be like next level. You guys just have no idea how there's such a need for that right now. We don't have that. Nobody is doing that.
And then to be able to record, like screen record, camera record, like building and just seeing, like, we have to buy buy certain things, showing the Amazon order and the receipts. It'll be fun, man. And having a documentary at the end of it would be dope. I think that we, even if it turns up that it is exactly what we say, raising that massive awareness, or if it isn't, even better, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want that stuff happening. And I don't think we're wrong, bro, but if we are, then I'll take back everything I said, about all this, I guess. But they've already admitted it, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Most of the stuff we've already proven. We just have to, like, the only real thing that we're trying to prove still is like the drone angle, really, to see whether they're integrating the drones into the like the geofencing and stuff, and whether they're trying to integrate all that. So
because with the software being built, you can actually see the drone operator's location would be the ideal way to go about it. So
yeah, that would really be. Imagine, exactly. Imagine being able to pull up and tap them on the shoulder. Excuse me, is this you?
Be like, they got a whole
epic
van full of computers, and no, excuse me, no. Yeah, just some dude on their phone, like, like that's how easy it should be. You just use your phone and you just be like Pokemon, like, let's go catch these scammers.
I tell you what, if we make it that easy to where you can put that in everybody's hand in America, that will make them think twice about taking your data.
Absolutely.
Because the only reason they do it now, exactly, the only reason they do it is because they can get away with it. A lot of people don't know they're doing it. A lot of people don't pay attention to what they're doing. but if you know, like that's something that people care. Like if you walked up to the average person and said, "Hey, do you mind if I take your data?" They're going to say, "No, I don't give you permission to take my data." But if they don't know you're taking your data, then who cares, right? They're not going to care if they don't know. But if they know, they care. So once you show them, hey, this person's taking your data or this company's taking your data, then it's going to cause issues, which is going to cause legislation, which is going to cause, it's going to be a ripple effect, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. And I hope that,
And then
that would be
imagine
amazing.
like we'll be able to, I mean, this becomes real. And then imagine we'd be able to go to someone like Thomas Massey and say, bro, look at this shit. Look at how much mess they're doing to us. We need your help. You don't think that this kind of compilation of data would be able to get somebody's attention? There's only a few people speaking out for the people.
We can for sure, I guarantee you, if we do this and we can prove the stuff we're saying, we can absolutely, we'll be testifying in front of Congress with this probably.
Did you put BB on there, bro? I don't think, did I or did you? I did.
I didn't
put him
absolutely.
on there.
Yeah, I put his wonky ass on there.
I just noticed that, bro. That's so funny, bro. Oh man, big.
Oh,
up.
by the way, I'm gonna let you talk and do some super. I want to find Benny Johnson reacted to an AI video yesterday of Epstein, which was like, it was amazing. It was freaking amazing. The best. I mean, it was it was hilarious, and it was also the best AI video I've ever seen. Like, it was top notch, man. So I'm going to try to find that real quick. I want to show that to you guys before we go. So I'm going to let him run through these super chats while I look for that.
Did you see the one of the break dancers saying when Epstein dancing because they didn't jail anybody from the files yet? And it was like this crazy break dancer that looked like Epstein. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
I'll send it to you. It's hilarious.
I did react to the, I think you and a bunch of other people told me to react to the like that Office style skit of the Turning Point one.
Yeah, that's a funny one. The headquarters.
The headquarters. Yep, that's what's called. Yep. But I reacted. I was going to release that today, but I just didn't finish editing it. Plus my internet thing was being funky. But I'm gonna put that out probably tomorrow morning. But I reacted to that, so you guys will have a good laugh about that. That's pretty good too. Hell
yeah. Ivan gifted memberships, bro. You're like the membership master. You and Keats and PJ. I don't know where PJ's at today. We're missing him. Thank you. Say thank you to Ivan. Hotspot gifted 5 dang super chats as well. Thank you, Hotspot. Ooh, 5 Project Constitution memberships from Hotspot as well. Thank you for that. That's dope.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
we gotta
you.
get
And
his channel
anybody
rolling.
anybody who got a membership, please say thank you to him as well. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his page just in case. Again, it's not the backup. He's got a backup channel, and he's got a regular channel. It just doesn't say backup on it, so I'll just show that real quick. You can see this is his page. It's got Charlie on it. His other one does not have Charlie on it, so that's how you know it's his. All right. Let's see here. Where we at? Courage with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Courage D2. I appreciate you. Says thank you. Absolutely, you're welcome. Where are we at? New member Aces Craft Key. Hey, good to have you. Welcome. And Keats. And yeah, by the way, if you're just tuning in late or not or whatnot, just in case you didn't hear, every Friday, late morning, I do a members only live stream. So make sure you join for 99 cents if you want to join the membership only live stream. That'll help alleviate some of the lives going into members only. As I talk more about some other things that aren't so financially intensive, I won't have to make them members only, but then you get to become part of the community and do the members only memberships meetings weekly. Keats, $2 $8, make a holla. Erica was at the same event. Barone, I can't do it like him. Barone broke that. Erica was at the same event. I don't know what event you're talking about, but I'm sure you'll let me know. Send me a DM. Bloof Crime, new member, welcome. Kazi Perth with the $10 A-Buck super sticker. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the donations, seriously. Agnes Louise became a YouTube member. Welcome. Measured Man, $5. They also need to look into the Protection Act Appeal 230. Will hurt content creators. It's takedown first, no matter what, about paywalls, etc. No matter about paywalls. I see what you're saying. So even if you're pay protecting your content, yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely have to look into that for sure. Against Better Judgment, $10 super chat. Hi, thanks. Project Constitution in chat. Yeah, we have so this is Lady Locks. She's got 2 channels. Against Better Judgment. Go check her out. We were gonna have her. I'm gonna have her on the channel. We might do a 3-way, and she's got some really great Charlie Kirk TPUSA material and also lockpicking content. So we'd love to soon get with her, and she's got a great personality, man, and definitely got some humor, some dry, funny humor. Not even dry, just like straight up, just like calling it how it is, almost like JP Sears in a way, just direct. You gotta love it. So thank you for the super chat Against Better Judgment. Ferguson JM 8 $4.99. Thank you both for sharing your stories. You're both a blessing. You are using your talents for good. We're trying, that's what we're here to do. Spread the word, spread the message, do good, give to others. This is part of giving back, right? So thank you. Steve Steins became a YouTube member. Welcome. And JC Crew for Life with 99-cent $8 super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
And I found that video, by the way, and I appreciate you guys too. Thank you so much. We, like I say all the time, the only reason we can do what we do is because of the support of you guys. We're not these big media conglomerates. We don't have big, huge sponsors paying our bills. We're not funded by, our favorite ally. So everything we do is independent. We don't take those corporate dollars for a reason, because once you do, that puts strings attached to you. That makes, you have to give people favors, and you have to, do things for people. And we don't want to do that. We want to always remain true. We always want to remain neutral. So like micro donations, people that support us and are with our family, we consider you guys a family. And that's what we got to do. That's how we support this. That's how we keep the stream rolling. That's how we keep the operation going, the lights on, and we appreciate you all very much. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Against Better Judgment back again with the $5. All y'all are too kind. All y'all are too kind. I don't think
we've
it
been
sounds like that, but I talked to her
we've
recently,
been
by the way.
Yeah, we've been a little busy lately, but we definitely, in the near future, we're definitely going to do a live stream with her for sure.
Let me show her channel. She's got a dope channel. Check it out. Against Better Judgment TPUSA. Yeah, here she is. Sure. Here it is. Real quick, I'll add it to the stage. This is her channel right here. 650 subs. Maybe we can get, how many people we got? There was like 500 earlier, but we fell off since we started reading super chats. But yeah, she's got some good material. Looks like she's posting pretty consistently. I started off posting like once every 3 or 4 days because like the algorithm was testing me out. We were having a conversation about this last night. I'm the YouTube guy. I've been studying YouTube algorithm for 5 years, same time when I started doing social media. He's been the X guy. So we've been kind of helping each other. And it started off like the algorithm. You just got, once you hit a banger, like for example, when well, we can talk about it, but for anybody out there, like if you making content, if you hit a banger, and what I mean is like more than a couple of views, like say you get 400 or 500, 600 views, stay on that path. Don't change to something else, because the algorithm, it puts you in a certain pocket for a little bit. So if your content is hitting a certain audience, you're getting subscribers, views, 1,000 views, whatever, stay on that topic. That way that you keep prying it. That's why you see me talking so much about the same narrative, because the algorithm people are wanting that content. That means that people want that content. There's a gap there. So if you're getting views on that content, it's because you found a gap enough to get views from that people are interested in. So that's for anybody, not trying to preach to anyone, but anybody doing content.
It's called your micro niche. You have your niche, and then you have your micro niche.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a very micro type of niche for sure.
Definitely. We have one more here as well. I'll let you read it since she's your person.
My favorite member. She's a member.
Yep.
I'm gonna kick you from the membership. No, I'm kidding. No, I gotta love being real. You know, Julie, Canadian. Oh, she's Canadian. That's what it is.
Oh, she's definitely getting kicked now. Out. No, I'm like kidding. We love you, Canadians. We love you guys.
We love you. No trolling. Speaking real. God bless. Absolutely. Maybe one day you can explain to me why is Jews and I just don't understand why they don't spell the word God out. I have a feeling maybe you're Jewish then, or Israeli perhaps. But maybe we can talk sometime. I'd love to know more. There's a lot of things that, like, I'm not a closed-minded person when it comes to that stuff. I personally just want to learn about everything. Like, I'm not closed-minded. I'm very open-minded. But I also I'm staunch on things that I feel need to be talked about. So I don't like people telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing. So that's why I kind of, was like that on the members stream. People telling me don't do this, don't do that. I don't like that, because I'm going to do what I want anyways, and it just pisses people off when you do that. But you haven't pissed me off, and I appreciate you. Any discourse is good to have for sure. So thank you for the super chat and being real. Julie. Gonna be the death of me, Julie.
All right. So check this video out. This is a couple of minutes long, but this video, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Benny Johnson. Like, he's definitely 100% just a Trump shill. But at the same time, he does buck back occasionally. Every once in a while, he will buck against things. So, buck against the trend. So I'll give him a little bit of credit there. But in general, I'm not really a fan of him. But this is a good video, and he's reacting to it. So this is the only place I've seen it. So we have to watch him reacting to it. But anyway, it's a good video. So let's check it out. You guys will like this.
This is the single greatest explanation of Jeffrey Epstein on the entire internet.
This is funny too.
His room in his house.
Video of the Dalai Lama kissing that boy or on the lips. Have you seen that video?
I have not.
He was kissing the wall. I think maybe it was a separate video, but he went and kissed the wall, and then he was like he kissed a boy on the lips, bro. And then he had to come out and make a public statement about it.
Yeah, that's creepy, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, you can go ahead if you want to put it back. You're frozen again, by the way. Yeah, I can put the link. It's in my the link is here, and sorry, someone's asking for the donation link. It's in my suit. It's in both of our pinned channel in the comments in the chat. I'll put
Here,
it in
I'll drop it again.
Yeah,
I just dropped it again for people too.
Yeah, okay. I'll put it also in the comments in my video so that you guys can go directly towards it. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
All right. Let me back up just a little bit here.
Hopefully not. It's
No,
okay.
we'll
We
be
can cut
fine.
it out. Okay, we can cut it out.
She's just as evil. Honestly, she's more evil than him, in my opinion.
The artwork.
Let me go back a minute. Did you see that? Did you see who were in these clone tubes?
I didn't. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. I'm putting the donation links in the website for Americans for Transparency in my description. All right, let's see it.
Yeah, check out who. It's pretty funny. Check out who's in these clone tubes.
Creepy artwork.
What? Oh, it's that's
Nick Fuentes and the Island Boys.
Oh my gosh, bro. That's so crazy.
You remember the Island Boys? They're famous for kissing each other. They're two brothers, and they were just kissing each other and stuff. Disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. Freaking weirdos.
Yikes. Yep. Started the Troon movement. Made games woke, made gaming woke. All the institutional money.
Bitcoin.
By the way, you want to go ahead and talk about what you told me earlier about that Bitcoin wallet?
Oh, yeah. So I believe personally that so there's a wallet, the founding wallet of Satoshi Nakamoto that they assumed to be Satoshi Nakamoto because it was like right when the first blocks were solved for Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin was basically when it was first created, I think there's 1 million Bitcoin tokens or coins rather. There's the reason why I say tokens or coins is because tokens are different from coins. That's different different day, but Bitcoins went into this wallet and were stored and they were never moved. They have been moved a couple of times, but they've never been sold now to my knowledge. There has been activity in those wallets. So 1 million Bitcoin. So imagine, say the price is, the last time I saw it was $70,000. So times 1 million, that's $70 million, right? So
no, that's way more than that, bro.
70,000 times 1 million, 70 billion.
Okay, wait.
70 billion.
Yeah.
$70 billion. My bad. I was reading it wrong. $70 billion. I think that it is either Jeffrey's wallet or the Rothschilds. That's what I think.
I also agree with that.
Yeah. Now that
honestly, I think it's a combination. I think it is the Rothstein's wallet or the Rothschilds' wallet. I mean, but I think Epstein was the one who was the middleman or whatever. He was the one funding it, you know.
Yeah, it's got to be part of the deal. Like you invested, you made it happen. Like when the blocks are solved, you know, I'm getting a million the coins. That's it. Like I'd probably demand something like that too. But it's just so crazy that, you know, this is the thing. When I see people buying the dip, like Jesse on Fire said on his video live stream yesterday, oh, I bought the dip. You know, the way I look, I sold my Bitcoin. I'm out. I don't really care anymore. Like the thing is, if they're building this thing and they're involved in it, there's something going on. You're not only are you funding these people that are in the files and helping make them richer, and then doing whatever they get to do with that entire system, the blockchain. I'm speaking specifically about Bitcoin only because the rest of the coins themselves, certain ones I know are really good. Like Tao, TAO is an AI version of Bitcoin. It's a very good blockchain. It uses machine learning to solve blocks instead of mathematical computational algorithms. But with Bitcoin specifically, I am out. I don't want anything to do with that ecosystem of people. I'm not that money hungry. You know, I've made a lot of money in crypto in my life, and I'm already kind of over crypto right now anyways. There's only one that I buy, and it's Tao. That's just me personally. I'm not endorsing it or asking anyone to buy it. I don't care. But the thing is, you're literally funding and making those people that duped everybody, lied to everybody, you know, the whole operation richer, and I'm just not for it. So personally, and it could even be that they're using those funds, staving it for something bigger and worse, and you're just making them richer. So I'm not for it. I'll find another investment vehicle. I'm very savvy in the markets, so I don't need Bitcoin. In fact, it's not even that great of an investment anymore, to be honest. It might 10x, you know, over the next 10 years, 20 years, but I don't. Or 100x, even if it 100x is, I can find 100x today, and if I really wanted to. So
Yeah, definitely. And that's the crazy thing is like all these like when you think you're fighting back, you know, you think you're invested in these things to fight back against the system, you're really just helping them build a new system. You know, it's
crazy.
like it's insane.
Appreciate you, Keats. Thank you, Keats.
AI is getting crazy good, man. AI's getting crazy good. Scary good. This is the single greatest explanation of Jeffrey Epstein on.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
for you guys, I will actually, as we're when we end the show, I'll put that as the outro, so you guys can watch it without us interrupting if you want.
Sounds good.
It is really fun, and you should watch it. Well, actually, I can't put it as the outro. I'll play it when we're done. I'll play it as I'll manually play it as an outro for you guys.
Yeah, we'll put it full screen and all that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it for us. For me, at least. I'm gotta check up my daughter and do a couple things and then get back to coding. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you came in late, you might want to watch the beginning to at least 2.5 hours in or 2 hours so you can see what we talked about. Check out the website, americansfortransparency.com.org or AFNPT, American for Nonprofit Transparency.org. Americansfortransparency.org, AFNPT.org. It's free. Maybe I'll put a donation thing on the website. Maybe not. I don't really care about that. I'm already almost done with the site for now. And then over time, I will be implementing more stuff through my investigation. I've got another project I got to code for the rest of tonight and tomorrow, so I might be out of commission, but we have something pretty big planned. He's got a conversation going with somebody later tonight, so we're hoping that goes through, and it will be a really interesting live stream, hopefully. So yeah, more to come.
Definitely. Yeah, stay tuned. We got a definitely a good live stream coming very shortly with the both of us. So you're not going to want to miss that special guest.
Absolutely.
One more. Where'd it go? We have what happened?
Oh, it was just Ivan. Ivan being Ivan.
Hold on. One more time. There's the link if you want to donate to the fundraiser for us to go to these.
Pull that up.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Here. There you got it. Cool. 16 donors, 10 comments, and 5 shares. We're gonna share it.
Is it up already? Ooh, what happened? There it is.
We'll share it soon.
All right, cool. Yep, there we go. So yeah, I'll put it on my X as well for you guys, and we'll make sure we put it in the. We'll link it in the comments of the video as well once the video ends. But yeah, exposing TPUSA. We're gonna go check out. If you're coming in late, what we're gonna do in a nutshell is we are building an app, which is going to be on your phone or on your computer. It's going to give you a way to tell whether they are spying on you and taking your data and how they're doing it. And you're going to be able to tell it all from the palm of your hand. So you will now know if they're geofencing you, if they're using, what's the name of that thing again that they
geofencing?
No, the Sidewinder or what's it called?
Drones? No,
not the thing that pretends to be a Wi-Fi and what's it called?
Stingray?
Stingray, yeah. So whether they're using a Stingray or whatever it is, this will be able to tell, and it will be able to protect you. Yeah, whatever, man. It's all the same thing. It tells you how much I know about tech, man. That's why I got Danks around. All right, guys.
It's all good.
But yeah. So check it out because we're going to do that. We're going to go to the Make America Crowded tour. We have a couple dates planned that we're going to go there in person. We're going to test this out, and we're going to see and try to prove everything, all our findings about how they are using these gatherings, that the Make America Crowded or Make Heaven Crowded tour, as a massive data harvesting operation. So we're either going to prove or disprove what we're saying there. And this is how we're going to do it. So you definitely guys want to donate. And we're also going to do a documentary of everything. We're going to show you guys, walk you through the whole process. We're going to do a like a Netflix style documentary. So it's going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be the first Charlie Kirk investigation documentary that's been made yet. So can't wait for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll put some content out, a video explaining what we're doing, or we might clip this and stuff so we can share it as well, so that we can get more people in on it and just share the awareness. This is something that there's enough people now aware of the theory, and I think that it's time to at least start putting it into action. And look, again, we have to get hardware and stuff like that. If we have to, we might put on the donation page that we might have, the dates are need to be tentative, because we might have to change the location and dates, because they're going all throughout the year. So it just depends, how much is raised, how fast, and then the hardware is going to cost like $4 or $5 grand, so maybe a little more. And then from there, we'll be able to figure it out and start cracking. So we just, fortunately, I have the computers that I need to do this, and the skill.
Well,
so.
You have some of it, and you definitely have the skill. That's right.
Well, the computer, because if I didn't have these computers that I built, then I wouldn't be able to.
Gotcha. Anyway, so that's what we got for you guys today. Make sure you share the stream out, share the link, share the donation link out, and we appreciate you all. We love you all. Thank you all for coming. What else you got to say there, buddy?
That's it, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Love you all, man. And America first, America only. Christ is King. God bless you all. I am going to recuse myself. Hit me up in a little bit. You're going to play that video?
This is the single greatest explanation of Jeffrey Epstein on the entire internet. His room in his house. AI is getting crazy good, man. AI is getting crazy good.